Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner. I'm here with Sean Bell,
Yo.
Matt Murray,
Yo.
and James Farley.
Hey.
We're going to start the show as we
Unbelievable.
like to
Refuses to.
Why can't you just fall in line, James?
What?
What's he doing?
We were just
We were
out of
yo-yoing.
nowhere. Matt and I were like, "Oh, this is it. We're doing a bit," and now James is going to do.
Oh yeah, he
continue
doesn't. He
it.
doesn't pick up on that.
No.
He's getting slower and slower by the week. That boy. Patreon producers this month, they are Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights and Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gasman, Rocketman76, Smooth Monkey, Richard Sawyer, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Sam Higton, Tom S, Stan, Philip with an F, Cutty, Steve Lee, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Man, and Tri-State. They are the full Nels crew. And we salute each and every one of them. They're keeping the show going, along with all the other Patreons over at patreon.com/TCGS. We released our bonus show last week, in which we were hoping that Mark from Wicked Inc. in Sutton would join us to talk tattoos. He will be the artist that will be tattooing either James or Matt.
think it'd be me,
but
probably
unfortunately, there were some technical issues and he couldn't join, which was quite sad. And we also released our video show for the whatever tier that is. That was an interesting one. I think we
bit shorter
thought
than
the
we
actual.
thought as well.
It was shorter than we picked something that was 45 minutes long, not knowing that the final 10 minutes of that video was just static.
Just nothing.
But definitely check that out if you haven't already and you signed up to that tier. Patreon.com/TCGS. Thank you for the support. There is one other thing that I want your money for. That's like we did last year. I did a sponsored walk, 25k walk out through London on the hottest day of the fucking year, over 16 bridges across the Thames, in aid of Special Effects, which is an excellent charity that I'm sure most of you have heard of, that allows people who weren't able to or haven't been able to access technology. It helps them access technology. Definitely check out Special Effects as a charity. They're absolutely incredible. Well, once again, this year in September, I'll be taking on another challenge with my work colleagues, where we will be walking slightly less. It's 23k. But we're walking from Hampton Court to Runnymede along the Thames, so that'll be fun. And if we're doing it again in aid of Special Effects, I know a lot of you support that charity. If you've got a few pounds to spare, then please do sponsor me. If you go to my Twitter account, it's at David Turners, and it's on my pinned tweet. I would read out the address, but it's way too long and confusing. So just go to my Twitter account or my X account, and then check out my pinned tweet. And it's the link is there. I appreciate everyone that's done it already. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
It's good to know we're guaranteed good weather on the 14th September.
I really do hope it's not that hot. Last year, someone ended up in hospital from our team. So we're hoping that doesn't happen again. Also, I was so close to just giving up. That was hot. Those last 2k, especially when you got to the cobbled streets, that really did take the piss having that right at the end.
If you weren't sponsored, would you have given up?
Yep.
Yeah.
What, if I was doing it for a laugh?
Well, no. If you hadn't raised loads of money, you're like, oh, fuck
Yeah,
this.
I would have given out. Yeah, absolutely. I would have got the tube home. See you later.
2k from the end.
2 bridges in, actually.
Yeah,
This is
fuck
quite
this.
boring. I'm gonna go.
This is rubbish.
Someone come out of a flat and gave me a lollipop, and that sort of really gave me that lift for the last day.
that is good.
Yeah. So this one's slightly shorter, so I should just be thinking about giving up just as I'm finishing this time. So it should be
When you
perfect.
say lollipop, you mean like an ice lolly or like a chopper chop?
Sorry, yeah, an ice lolly. I say the wrong thing about that all the time. It was.
And now it's a stranger.
No, I wasn't picking you up on
Yeah,
it
it was
or
a
anything.
stranger,
I was
yeah.
just curious.
Except a lollipop from a stranger, that's fine.
Okay, that's all right, isn't it? For a man.
I don't know. I think
Don't know why that would make any difference. But
I'm glad we've
I was
clarified that.
thinking
Okay.
I'm not a
No, you
child.
understand, it's fine. I'm a straight white man. It doesn't.
I think
Sounds like a lovely gesture.
Yeah.
You know,
It was a lovely gesture. I don't know what these two are getting at. It's
No,
it's
it is.
quite-
It's good, that is.
a little bit of faith, mate. Should we get some feedback from last week's show?
Yes, unfortunately, Medieval Gate is still going on, and now it's got another angle, thanks to me being an idiot. Hugh has messaged, "Oh boys, do I have to?" at 14 minutes 44 seconds. In this week's show, Matt is talking about how to say medieval. Medieval. He talks about the correct pronunciation. No, it's the correct pronunciation. Other than that, a great start to that. Oh, fucking hell, the prick has just done it again 20 seconds later. There's more here. Medieval pronoun. Matt's pronunciation of the word pronunciation when talking about the pronunciation of the word medieval. Pronunciation. Anyway, Eddie Evil has messaged, Medieval Gate. I hate I'm writing this, but it goes deeper. Last week, I was listening back to some vintage TCGS to get my fix before Wednesday's episode, specifically episode 108, Telling Murray, from 16th of June 2018, where Sean Bell can clearly be heard describing a game as medieval. I planned on keeping this to myself because it's not really something you'd pull something up on, but somehow the debate is still ongoing, and now it seems like important evidence. Case closed, question mark.
Why?
Oh my god, there's more, for fuck's sake.
Up when I said basically it doesn't really matter. Who cares?
Right, okay, this is the last one.
Well, because I think it does matter. I think speech and language does matter, actually.
Let's hear from Dr. Easy to pronounce.
Yeah. Dr. Easy to pronounce. I'm a modern linguistics professor at the University of Kent. Pronounce Kent. Pronounce. Hang on.
Pronounced, yeah.
Yeah, I was right then. Okay, cool.
It's pronunciation, but this is pronounced.
Yeah, I think you're likely to get a lot of emails and messages this week on the topic
I love the way
of...
James said that, like he fucking never fucks up. The guy that said, was it Ocarina of Time for fucking 40 years or whatever?
It's Ocarina of Time.
That's right.
Every time now I nail that word. And I still have to think about it for a few seconds before I say it, but I nail it. It's good.
Look, I think you'll like to get a lot of emails and messages this week on the topic of pronunciation, in particular the pronunciation of medieval, and perhaps even more on how to pronounce pronunciation. The so-called correct way to pronounce medieval, fucking hell, this is killing me, is medieval. This is true in both US English and in standard Southern British English, which has now replaced received pronunciation as a standard. But yes, it is supposed to be pronunciation, not pronunciation. Here's the thing that people are less likely to tell you. Linguistics experts like myself and popular YouTube folk like Dr. Jeff Lindsay are very unlikely to correct yours or anyone else's pronunciation of anything. That is because from an academic standpoint, the pronunciations that you see written in dictionaries are descriptive and not prescriptive. That is, they are a record of how people currently pronounce the words. These pronunciations change, and they change frequently. Interestingly, some words are having their pronunciations changed because of their unusual spellings. This is an effect of a more literate society. Our ability to read is changing the way we speak, so perhaps it will become more acceptable to say medieval as time goes on. Either way, if anybody tried to correct your pronunciation in the future, you can tell them that Dr. Hang on, this changed. Doctor to pronounce has said they can go fuck themselves. Okay. That is probably it.
Matt, I'm really impressed you got through that with saying every single one right.
Yeah, I'm sweating. I'm sweating now.
Brilliant. Whoa, James. Wait until next week's feedback.
Yeah. I think that should probably be the end, though, of that whole debate.
Oh, I don't know. I quite like it.
I feel like it's gonna...
I like you getting absolute battering every week. Cool.
Okay. Roland Browning. Just checking. David is aware there are multiple Pringles in a Pringles tube and not one really big crisp.
Yeah, because it says Pringles. It's
got with an
there's
S.
more than one. It's not Pringle.
It's not for me to be picky or pull people up on things. Pringles aren't crisps.
Oh,
what are they? Are they cakes or are they?
Jaffa cakes.
Yeah.
Because they're
like
hard,
reformed maize snacks or something. They're technically not.
Fucking hell, is that crisp, isn't it?
No, well, no, because crisp has to be made from potatoes, mate.
What am I be eating all this time?
Why do I have a feeling that Isaac really knows this?
Yeah. Every time he's in Tesco.
Crisps. Yeah, what do you want? Those ones. Well, they're not crisps, are they, Isaac? We've been through this.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. You said you want crisps. Well, these aren't crisps, Isaac. So what do you want?
You said you wanted cake, but you clearly just picked up some Jaffa cakes.
Yeah.
No, wait, no,
they
I'm
actually
getting it
go
wrong. No,
hard when
Jaffa
they're
cakes.
stale.
Jaffa cakes are cakes. They're not biscuits. That was the thing with Jaffa cakes.
Yeah.
Well, then a biscuit on the
I don't start
Right, okay,
this,
let's
please.
Yeah.
let's move on, please.
Ben Silly Fit Aging. I think that's safe to say. Ben Silly Fit Aging. Okay. I hate all these names.
It's great.
All right,
yeah, you read one of
dudes.
those out and you don't get the joke, and it's like, oh, is that because it's something?
Yeah, what have I
offensive and we've
said?
not-
It's a slur. Fuck our listeners. All right, dudes. I'm in thinking about ongoing changes to subscription services like Game Pass. Cory Doctorow's concept of shitification might be useful.
And
He just-
shitification.
Yeah, be shitification.
What is can't? Okay. Shitification
in
might be
your
useful.
defence, Matt, it's not a real word, so don't
Oh,
worry
okay,
about
right,
it.
okay.
I love
He
the
just-
fact that you slapped him and then said "in your defence." you pointed it out and then you defended him. Why?
Yeah.
One or other. Just pick
All right,
a-
it's-
pick a
Well, I'm just
side.
trying to keep things entertaining.
He describes it as a 3-stage process. First, platforms are good to their users. Then they abuse their users to make things better for their business customers. Finally, they abuse those business customers to claw back all the value for themselves. Then they die. Adobe, Spotify, Netflix, Amazon, Facebook, and many more have used this approach to build a user base with a great product and then do the old switcheroo. The product gets worse and the price goes up. You're stuck because you've invested in a media library, a list of friends, or service that is still kind of a good deal, but nowhere near what it used to be. The best strat is to get in early while the going is good, but not get too invested so you can get out before they start charging to access your friends list. Cheers.
Yeah, that does fit most of those examples. Amazon. still-
Well, I mean, like,
do you know-
Prime's gone up massively, but
has it?
they've also, yeah, it's like 80 quid. I mean, but they've added things like, well,
Added things you
obviously at
don't
first
want.
it was just a
They've
They've actually
delivery.
taken things away from Amazon Prime, which was.
Well, yeah, I mean,
annoying.
there's adverts now, but like before it was just
Oh, that's true.
the
yeah.
delivery.
It's
Now
not
it's
just
like the
adverts,
music and the books.
They've removed same day delivery.
Have they?
That pissed me off a little bit. Yeah,
Really?
I
Yeah.
don't think they. I
yeah.
don't think they have.
Not in Germany. they
Okay,
haven't.
I'll send you the email. email.
When did that happen?
About 6 months ago, I think.
All right, okay. I
I
guess
got
I
an
don't do a
email
lot of
saying,
same day.
same-day delivery is becoming an extra charge or something. I don't know.
Cool, love
that's
that.
not included with Prime or
It
something.
was
Yeah.
weird to hear about like like all their like the Echo devices and stuff, and how it turns out they've lost tons of
Yeah,
money.
and now they have to start
Besides-
charging for Alexa, aren't they? The actual service.
And like Alexa has been, it's like a massive sink.
No
like,
way.
of cash.
They're going to charge for the robot
That's
lady.
that's the current kind of thinking or rumor. Much like I'm sure Apple will charge for Apple Intelligence like a higher tier, and I'm sure Android will do something similar. And we have paid GPT levels.
Get
This
out
is
my
where it's all
wallet.
going. That's where it's all
Yeah,
going.
my
Because
wallet.
it's one thing, like with Alexa or Google Home or whatever. Like it's one thing you think, oh well, okay, I won't be able to ask it stupid questions. Then it's like, oh no, hang on, it controls the lights in my fucking head.
I can't see a thing now
Yeah.
unless I pay $10.99 a month. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll probably just keep paying for them services like a mug. Lauren Ipsum has messaged, can we get occasional podcast guest James Fry to read out patron producers every week, but with the 80s Top of the Pops chart countdown music playing in the background? Cheers, lovelies.
Oh, that is a fucking good idea, you know.
It is quite
Yeah.
funny.
Next week we'll do that. I'm off for a couple of weeks soon, so who's
That's
gonna
true, yeah.
Party
take
time.
charge of that? Maybe.
Yeah, we need to
maybe
figure
that
out because on the
becomes a whole
12th it's
thing.
currently just me and James,
Is it?
Whoa.
which I'm sort of up for.
No,
as a
no,
challenge.
I'm doing that one.
Oh, you're
yeah, I'm
on that
cancelling
one,
my, cancelling my holiday, yeah.
Oh, thank God! Cheers. Fucking hell, we nearly had a James and Sean show. Jesus Christ! Imagine
have we ever
that.
done
Star
that?
Trek week.
Have we ever done that? I don't remember.
No, we haven't.
Well-
That's why I was sort of intrigued. Same as like when it was just me and Dave. It's like I just want to see if we can do it.
James,
I'm sure we can.
we
I
know
mean,
we haven't done that because Matt put the graph of listeners in the chat last week, and there was no massive dip. Like it just kept going steadily up. So
because me and Matt did one, just the two of us once.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Just the two. Yeah, so,
Yeah,
so
so we've had just James and Matt. We've had just me and Dave.
and
I
just
think-
me
I
and
think-
Dave.
Oh, have we? Okay.
this was like working out who hadn't with the, with the other day. Me and Joe were trying to work out which of the friends had kissed each other.
Yeah. Well, we can do.
kissed, then they've.
Well, we can do that too. So me and James definitely.
No,
me
it's
and
boring.
Sean
We've all just
definitely.
kissed each
Yeah,
other,
we've
it's
all just
fine.
got off
Sean
each other.
haven't yet, but it's been on the
Got
cards.
right
for a
off
while.
each other. Yeah.
Remember how drunk we got after the.
Yeah,
Independent
there's
Podcast
kissing
Awards.
everywhere. Kiss James right on the bottom.
James
Well,
just
I
nicking
didn't know.
chips.
Yeah, chips were down. But sun gazers are a type of armoured lizard, apparently.
That doesn't even work, Matt.
No,
That doesn't even work. Chips it down.
James
What
and
does that
Sean
mean?
laughing.
Yeah.
It's a
No,
phrase,
they're
mate.
not.
Look it
They're
up.
laughing at you, Matt. They're laughing at you.
I'd just say laughter. That's all I care about. This is from someone called Sun Gazers, are a type of armored lizard, apparently. It was a cool evening on Mobius. A chill. Hang on, is this like a Farley sex thing?
It's not
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 Varley
me,
sex thing.
which is good.
Okay. It was a cool evening on Mobius.
Can I once again, Matt, suggest that you read these prior to the?
Nah, it keeps it more
show.
interesting if I do it. I was planning on
I
doing it
don't
this
know.
week, but
I don't know. I don't. What part of you going? Oh, let me just read ahead just to make sure it's not rude. What bit's interested about
I mean,
that?
That's
What
good value
bit
for the
about-
listener.
the thing about this is, if this had been written about me, you absolutely want it to be read. So I think we should read this.
Also, James, right? Like you took the wrong angle then. What
Yeah.
I would have said if I was you was, could you imagine if I did the news by going, okay, boys, let me just going on to Eurogamer.
he does do that when we're like, James, you've got the quote. He's like,
That's not true. It's just that I pull out different quotes, and I've got like a whole list. This isn't about me. This is about this.
It's true.
and yet somehow.
This is about a sexy story that involves David. Please read
Let's
on.
go.
It was a cool evening on Mobius. A chill blew through and Trip shivered. Almost some. Oh,
chill
what is it? All the
wind.
big
Chill
words.
wind.
A chill wind blew through
No,
and
what big words?
no, no, not them ones. It's the next one, which is
Yeah, Sean, you know, when before we
imperceptibly.
start recording, we go, Matt, have you been drinking? And then he picks up a can of 0% Guinness and go, no,
Yeah,
I
no, I
don't.
haven't.
It's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
good."
yeah.
I reckon he's just got one empty can of 0%
Yeah,
Guinness.
yeah,
that he
it's the
keeps
same
by
one.
The computer.
For months,
whiskey,
yeah.
And he pick-
It's just-
Right. Okay. Let's start again. It was a cool evening on Mobius. A chill wind blew through, and Trip shivered almost imperceptibly. David looked at her and saw her glance back, slightly biting her bottom lip. David hesitated slightly, then somehow found the courage. He scooted closer, lifted an arm, and put it around her. His heart stopped. Was he out of line? The moment seemed to last an eternity. Then he felt her move closer, lean into his embrace. He held her tight to his side, felt their two bodies share warmth. Trip nodded her snout into David's chest as he held her. Her spiny tail swayed, gently caressing the back of his leg. He felt his pants tighten as the thought of her body so close to his aroused him. David looked down at her and was surprised to see her looking back up at him. Her eyes sparkled in the dimming sunset light and seemed to fill David's entire field of view. The two of them drifted closer and closer until their lips touched, gently at first, and then ravenously.
Someone wrote that and sent that in.
And that's the
Also,
message.
It took me 2 paragraphs to remember that Trip was the Sonic character.
Yeah, yeah.
Last
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Crap
We're talking
character.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sean,
apparently she's a sun gazer, which is a type of armored lizard.
Sean,
But what I love about that is that's the second time that Matt's had to read out erotic Sonic fanfiction.
I was about to say.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jesus.
that was. I am fully hard.
Oh.
Do you ever feel your pants tighten? That's never.
Yeah.
Maybe I just wear loose pants.
Or you've got a small
Or just got
willy.
really small penis.
Uh-oh.
Small willy.
Oh, dear.
Have a very
Or
small
both.
Willy, Sean.
Or both. Tight pants, small willy. That's the name of the episode.
Could have a very small willy.
Tight pants, small willy.
I don't know how tight your trousers are, Sean, but James knows.
Yeah.
He's worn them once.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when he shit himself at the thing.
Yeah, to borrow. I said, "Oh, I got any trousers? Any got any trousers? I shit myself."
No,
Yes.
come on, that's not. Come on, that's not. What
Yeah,
happened.
that's if you eat our chips, that is going to happen.
Yeah.
It was the shower.
Chips are down.
It
Yeah.
was the shower, and it sprayed all over me.
Oh, that's right. Definitely wasn't piss or.
Piss. Yeah.
It
Piss.
was the shower.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, my jeans are wet.
We're
You're
talking about
watering
stuff
half an
that
hour,
happened a
you
year
prick.
ago on the bonus show. I feel bad for the people who go, "What are they talking about now? What is
Yeah,
this
let's just
nonsense?"
get on with it. We've got Scotty
Sign up
fish
for Patreon.
It's very
spatula.
warm tonight. I feel
It
like
is
maybe
actually.
Yeah.
that's a
Oh, yeah. I
contributing
should
factor.
warn you. Yeah, it's very warm. Everyone's a bit tired and a bit on edge. So I do apologise for the podcast in advance.
I'm not.
20
I'm
minutes
off
in.
edge,
Yeah,
man.
are we tired and on edge?
I'm tired, but I'm not on edge. I don't think.
I live on the edge.
I'm always on edge whenever we record this, so it's like, you know.
Well, can you act like it? Because it sounds like you're in
So
bed rather
behave
than
the
on edge.
James.
You got off the edge.
James's motto is, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much room. And then he puts on his leather jacket and goes, bungee jumps out of it. Right,
James
okay.
in a literal cliffhanger situation. And just being like, oh, looking at his watch.
Okay.
James, do you do water parks?
Water parks? You mean like
Yeah.
with flumes and all that
Yeah.
kind of thing?
Yeah, do you
flumes.
go down flumes?
I ain't been down. Do you know? I haven't been down a flume for about 30 years. So no.
Well, that's a
Wow,
bonus show, isn't it?
they're all digital now.
So your last
Digital?
flume was when you were 30 years
Put a
old?
headset on.
LVR.
Just fire a hose at you. As you...
Yeah, it's all fires a hose at you. You're on a
How do they
VR
work out if
headset.
they're digital then? What does that mean?
That's a joke. It was a joke.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's all crypto.
Just download it.
so we go to a water park tomorrow, and there's the really, really tall one. Like, it's massive. Do you go on it? Yes
Yeah.
or no?
Definitely.
Yeah, there it is. What a legend. Live life on the
Yeah.
edge, baby.
Who doesn't love a flume?
Yeah. I love stuff like that. It's
flume.
great.
All right, next.
Okay,
bit of
Scotty
feedback.
Fish Spatula has messaged, "Hi from Australia, boys.
Yes.
It's dream time. For some reason, I dreamt I brought all of you boys out to see my childhood home, an old shack in the middle of an isolated valley. It seemed to be a Christmas party because most of my family was also there. This would have been even more awkward if the original shack didn't also have mysterious add-ons, garages, bathrooms and watchtowers that kept turning up when I showed you around and tried to tell you the history of the place. It all culminated with a sniper attack and everyone crowding into a watchtower complete with fortifications to shoot back with slingshots. I've been listening to you for almost 4 years now and appreciate the dose of realism/parenting podcast, thinly veiled as a gaming podcast."
Wait, you can't go into the description of that dream and then just drop it and go, actually, no, I really like all that you've done for us in the podcast recently. I'm still thinking about the dream, Scotty. I don't know what. It starts off like you were in the Christmas Carol. You know what I mean? Returning back to...
Yeah. Then it goes all Home Alone.
But then remember, so it's from Australia, so it's not. It was never going to look like Christmas Carol.
No,
No,
that's
Australian Christmas is peak
It'd be-
summer, isn't it?
Be on a beach, wouldn't it, with a barbecue?
Well, sorry, I made
think.
the joke. Sorry, I made
Yeah.
the reference.
Yeah, no
Apologies.
jokes, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
David, I think you'll find.
They're not crisps, they're maize snacks.
He watched one episode of Blue and he thinks he knows it all. Makes me feel sick. Go on.
No,
They have
anything.
barbecues.
Having a barbecue, it's awful.
Go on.
Not traditional.
Okay.
What is your name, Matt? Go
We're
on.
going to end with Jolly Nice Soup. Further to your bafflement at the lack of leaderboards in Nintendo World Championships, may I also draw your attention to the following. The game helpfully tells you in the bottom right-hand corner that pressing ZL and ZR simultaneously will let you quit the game, causing a 3 or 4 second buffer before you can try again. What it doesn't tell you anywhere is that pressing L and R simultaneously provides an instant restart. Yes, the game only informs the player of the less convenient option. However, Nintendo, lots of love, Jolly.
It kills me that I didn't highlight this when we were
Well,
talking
there must be
about
some
it.
difference between them.
Sorry?
There must be some more crucial difference. Because
Okay,
why
just
wouldn't
chill.
they have...
Just right, but James, Sean, just chill. I'm gonna talk to Matt now. What are you talking about?
Well, why doesn't it say about the one that's the instant restart? I assume there's like a penalty for that, is there not?
No.
Oh. Well,
I thought you meant that like you got the buttons mixed up in your head or something and you didn't know what you were talking about.
No.
Still not convinced you know. I don't know if you played it this week. Have you played this game this week, James?
No, I've not been back to it. I've not touched it yet.
So I booted it up, and there was one cool thing. You can watch the replay of whoever finished first, so you
Right.
could see how they did it, right? And then so I did that, and I watched a few of those, and then I went back to, and then I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just feel all alone in this game again. That's supposed to be about like this big multiplayer.
This big
Uh,
world
Speedrunners.
championships. You know,
Yeah,
with
big
everyone.
world champion. And
Yeah.
I just thought, I'm just doing it on my own again, aren't I? Oh, look, I beat my ghost by 0.3 seconds. That was good that time, wasn't it? And I wonder how James is doing. It's like that. That is honestly, I
mean,
know
that's
we
the
went on
problem.
about
I
it
just
last week.
Don't care
It is
anymore.
mental.
Because it's like, you just think, oh, what's the point? Is the thing. I
Mate,
think,
if I was constantly trying to beat your scores, I'd have so much fun with it. And
Yeah.
instead, it is absolutely useless. It's absolutely pointless to me. It's such a shame, but well, what can you do?
Yeah, that's
I
the
mean,
kind of game that needs like notifications. It needs like, oh, James is beating your time, your score.
well, that's what was so good about Astrobot. The Astrobot, the packing game,
Mm.
the cracking game. It had like speed running mode in it, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was only like 6 levels, but the amount of times I would like load up my PS5, it was like Matt's. Well, it didn't. That didn't happen often, actually. I think
Well, I
it's
think it
once
did.
it said Matt beat your
I think it
time, and then I beat him
Yeah.
again, and then he's, didn't
Well,
get anywhere near
I think
it. 'cause
we
I'm
need
shit
to check
happy with it.
the tables. I'm sure that's probably not the case.
Ooh, we'll have a
think I
little
did
look
alright.
at that, won't we?
I think I did it right.
We'll have a
Actually.
little look at that, won't we?
Shall we? Why not?
Um, Yeah, but I don't know. Nintendo are absolutely insane with this sort of stuff.
I'm still also surprised that you read all the reviews and stuff like that, and nobody seems bothered by this, which just really blows my mind. Really,
Yeah, and when you go
It's-
into like forum threads and stuff, and people are like, "Oh, I'm loving this," and I'm
Yeah.
going, "Yeah, I know it's really cool, but is no one? Is it just us that really cares about what our friends got?" Like,
Yeah.
because I've got no idea. I cannot believe there's no way of knowing what you've got.
See,
It's
all you
that-
can do
it's-
is like, I mean, I saw it on like Rollmark. They were people just sharing like screenshots.
Yeah, that's
And
what I've
you're
seen
like,
people do on Twitter.
But
Yeah.
that's rubbish, and it's also
Yeah,
like,
that is rubbish.
and also the way that the Switch works, it's difficult and irritating to do as well.
Well, no, 'cause people, what's he on Twitter? It's like, like Jeff Grubb, Dan Reichert, and maybe someone else. Like they're the ones that generally do like these speed running things. They literally been taking pictures of their Switch, not even a screenshot. It's like easier to take a picture of their Switch screen and tweet that than do a screenshot, save it, download it, upload it. They're like, bang, here we go. I mean, it's old school.
I'll tell you one thing though. Next time we're together, we are definitely playing party mode because
Yeah,
that
that'd be
will legitimately be a lot of fun. Like that would legitimately be a hell of a lot of fun to do.
Do you want
that.
tattoo weekend?
Yeah, good point. Big screen, just a big. I was just thinking, just a big, massive screen, and just playing that. Oh, it'd be great. Or
Oh yeah,
you know,
we could
if
sit there while Matt's getting his tattoo. We can.
Yeah, play it in the tattoo. Well, I can do it because I'll be on my front. I'll be like, while my ass is out. That is it for
yeah,
feedback.
we're gonna have to. Have we got blur effect that we can put over your? I like the fact that the whole thing's being shot and it's all just like one big blur, and then we have a reveal at the end.
Well, I think you can if you blur one cheek, that'd be fine, wasn't it? Because then it's just like a bit of skin.
I think it's funny that we built up this whole thing and no one ever
No
gets
one's gonna
to see it
yeah.
because it's on your ass and we have to blur it the whole time.
Only 4 else members get to see the whole ass.
Yeah, you got to pay up for it. Is that it?
Yes,
for the
it is.
feedback?
For the yes, go to tcgs.co/dear-tcgs. Leave your feedback, but don't mention medieval or pronunciation.
You can do whatever you want. Don't listen to them.
You can't.
There's no
You
need to call
them
them that. James.
So news: the PSVR 2 has received a massive price cut in the UK. So in on Amazon and Smiths, it's now gone down. Like it's like about 36% or so off. So it's like £349 on Amazon. It was £529 on Amazon. And there is also this Call of the Mountain bundle as well, which has also had a similar price cut. But apparently at Smiths, it comes in at £329.99. And so it's a lot.
Mad, isn't it?
And this is also US now as well, so it is
Yeah,
pretty much
it's,
worldwide.
It's kind of gone everywhere. Also, obviously, there's the PSVR 2 support coming to the PC next month. You still have to buy the adapter for that, which is like 50 quid. And also, you need a DisplayPort cable, which is a bit another thing that you have to deal with.
What's
And,
that?
and
Sorry?
all the best features don't work.
Yeah.
On PC, as far as we know as well.
Yeah. So that's a bit
Wait,
rubbish.
what's the DisplayPort cable? What's that?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's just like a lot of graphics cards now have maybe have 2 HDMI, 2 DisplayPort. It's just like another way to connect your monitors and displays and whatnot. So I don't think that's too outside the realms of possibility. If you're into VR, you
I
probably
thought
got.
that was what that. I thought that what that £50 thing did.
No, that's just the adapter, I think. And then you have to use the
Fucking
DisplayPort
hell.
cable to plug into
So
that.
when you use it on PC, you got to have 2 cables attached to it.
Well, presumably, yeah. There'll be like one that you... I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but I'm presuming that you plug one into... You plug the adapter into the cable, and then you need another cable to plug into the DisplayPort.
Sounds good.
That's
Yeah, I guess it'll be a
Yeah.
bit like an Elgato, so it's going to need like an in and an out.
you've got a feel for the people that genuinely went. I mean, not James because he's got loads of money, but you've got a feel for the people that went out and bought this thing thinking it was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have known. We were warning everyone, weren't we? You know?
I mean, this also feels like it feels like stock clearance, doesn't it?
Yep.
yes,
and-
this is it. Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
People are fed up of put it taking up so much space in their warehouse. That's what it is.
Because it is quite big as well.
Yeah, so I was thinking about this on the weekend. So I don't know
I'd hate to
how.
have to like take it on a plane.
Yeah,
home.
imagine that. I don't know how retail works, right? But like,
Cumbersome.
say like Curry's had bought, they're probably 1,000. Say they bought 100 of these. Now they get a price cut. Like, do they get like a rebate from PlayStation? How does that work? Or have they got
I
his
think
stock that was?
so. Yeah, isn't there like a
Really?
weird guarantee between retailers and?
Because if Curry's had 1,000 of these and they bought them for like, I mean, obviously they're making profit, but if they
Oh, I
bought them
see, for the-
at cost
yeah.
or whatever it is, and like, hang on, suddenly now they're 200 quid off, like, and they've been fucked, they got a massive load of stock, but I wasn't sure how
And
that
also,
worked.
people that have bought it within a month or whatever,
Yeah.
usually you could just take it back and get a refund, right? So people that, I mean, there must have been no one. I can't imagine. Well,
Yeah.
just as I was saying that, then I can't imagine someone going.
The numbers for
I
this
can
must be
finally-
so bad. And it's just like, you just think though, if they'd have launched it at this price or similar, it probably would have done us a lot better.
It might have
This
had a
is- yeah,
standing
this is it,
chance.
isn't it? It's like this did not need to happen. Like, and this isn't like haha PSVR 2's shit, because it's not. It's a really good headset.
yeah,
But
yeah.
just that the software, like the price was wrong and the software library wasn't there. Both of those
And
seem
Sony
relatively
didn't show
fixable.
any intent in really supporting the device.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
that was the biggest problem, right?
Mhm.
You know, it was something that needed support to be successful,
Yeah.
and even when they launched it, we were like, they're not really talking about it.
Yeah,
much
like there
already.
wasn't a dedicated state of play to this.
Yeah.
Which
I
is,
mean-
And,
as someone who works at a studio who was working on a PSVR 2 game, was like, when are they going to do the state of play, guys? Because we're really
Yeah.
The
we'd like them to
previous
push it.
point-
there, was,
You're
there, wasn't,
killing us over here.
there wasn't a shortage of things to play on it, but as we've said, a lot of those were Quest ports. And really, what PSVR 2 should have been was here's a load of shit that will never run on Quest in a million years.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there just
Using
wasn't so much
all
of
the
that,
portfolio, the characters,
Yeah,
the IP
yeah,
that Sony have got that you can't get on Quest. Yeah,
I mean, this beats the previous low point for Sony hardware of like the Vita. You know, in sense of like just being dropped quite quickly after it's come out. I mean, that did have support for quite some time. Like loads of stuff came out for it. Whereas this,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something else that they've released where they've just clearly been so disinterested. Like, I don't understand why they launched it when they did. Like, it seemed like a crazy time. To when the install base for the PS5 was nowhere near what it was for the PS4 when the original PSVR came out. Like, why do it at that point?
You do wonder how much of an impact this has on the rest of the VR industry. Like, and I'm not taking the piss. I'm not fucking around. What I'm saying is that a major games company has released a VR headset and it didn't sell that well, and it seems to be a massive failure.
But I think that's on Sony though. It's on Sony. This is not like a. I don't think
agree,
this is
but
a
it
failure
did
of VR.
happen. I agree, but it did happen.
yeah. It's
Like-
not a great look, but this is on Sony. But it's like, yeah, as David says, this is like a major manufacturer, publisher.
What I mean by that, James, is that there was a time where we were thinking, well, Microsoft are definitely going to be thinking about entering the VR. Can you imagine them releasing a headset?
I don't think they-
Absolutely not. Not going to
Barely
happen. Not in a
releasing
million
console
years
these
now.
days.
Yeah. It's worrying to see. I think there are enough. If you've not played VR and you've got a PS5, then I think it's a pretty good price for playing some Quest games. But then ultimately, the Quest is pretty good. So I mean, you're choosing between the PS5, PSVR 2, or the Quest. Then you would
Yeah.
say the
And let's
Quest,
not
but-
forget that Meta are pissing money away with the Quest as well. It's just that they can afford
Yep.
to at the moment, and they think it's presumably going to pay off one day. It's just, it's really strange.
I mean,
It is
that's
strange.
the thing. Like, if you're looking at like which one to buy, you'd be crazy at this point to go for this over the Quest 3 because it's like at least the Quest 3 looks like it has a future, whereas
yeah.
PSVR 2 doesn't really feel.
Matt,
like
you
that.
got any inside knowledge about the direction of VR? What's happening? What's going
It's-
down? Come on.
No, I mean, yeah, this is
All
this
going
is a
great.
disaster.
Why do we have him on? Why do we have him on? Why is he part of this? Can't even
banter.
talk about things. Oh, the
Banter.
banter. Yeah, that's right. Chips and
Yeah,
dimes.
no, this is a shame because, as Sean said, like this is a great headset. I still think it's comfiest. The screens are great. I love the controllers, and it has so much potential. I mean, look at things like Call of Mountain. It looks great. I mean, it's a bit of a basic game, but it looks great, and that was a start. Like, where would it be in 2 or 3 years' time? But it takes a lot of money, and they were clearly not willing to do anything. But the fact is, it wasn't like they didn't wait and see. They didn't say, okay, well, it hasn't sold well after a year, or I mean, it has been a year now. But because from the gate, they didn't even promote it. They didn't do a state of play.
You
They
could tell
didn't.
that something was odd about that launch. It was odd about that launch. Like,
They
I
didn't
don't even remember seeing buzz like from YouTubers going, "Hey, look, I'm unboxing this," and I'm sure.
there
I mean, I definitely saw
At the
that,
start,
but
at the
then,
start there was.
But I
There
don't think it was massive. It's not like.
well, it's
Even the Portal, I think, was pushed more than this.
I
Is
don't
that
think
wrong
so.
to say?
No, I think the PSVR 2 when it first came out, there was like an initial like bit of a buzz,
Okay.
that happened.
Okay,
And
I'll
but
then
that
it
was
really-
only really from the VR community. Like, again, talking to loads of people in the VR scene, like, it was the developers and the influencers and content creators that were doing all the marketing for PSVR 2. Like, they were the ones they were psyched, and developers were releasing games and whatnot, but Sony themselves just seemingly wasn't doing much. So,
it was just ridiculously expensive. Like to launch at that price, I think was a big mistake.
Yeah.
And like I say, especially when the console install base wasn't as huge at the time either. So for a lot of people, they were looking at the full cost of the console and the headset at the same time, which was just absurd.
It's
Alright.
a shame.
yeah.
It
They
is a
had
shame.
a bit of a crazy few months, because they had this, they had that two, the Pro controller, they had like the new earbuds, they had like the Portal. It's like they had the slim PS5. Like for like over a year or so, there was like new hardware every like 2 or 3 months. It was pretty wild, really.
I'd love to know how well the Portal's done. Like, I'd really like to know.
I bet it's done surprisingly great.
I mean,
There's been a few discounts, hasn't there? But nothing.
it goes out of
drastic,
stock
is it?
as well very quickly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
180. Yeah, I think I've seen it for 180. No lower than that.
What did you buy for 200?
So, yeah, 199. Yeah. Again though, it's like because I'm not playing a lot on my PS5 at the moment. I'm obviously not using that thing. I do love it when I use it, but again, it's one of those things, and it's one of those things that look, we're hoping to move in the next couple of months, and it's in the back of my mind. It's like I've really got to think about whether that thing's going to work in my new place, like because everything's got to be set up for it to work properly.
And that's the thing. Like, if it's set up, it's brilliant. Like, it's really good. Like if you've got everything, all the connections like working properly, it's fantastic. But otherwise,
I can't remember if we spoke about it at the time, but you used it a little while ago, didn't you, Matt? When we went down to
Yeah. I was really impressed.
Can you see what I mean about the screens now? Like,
Yeah,
there's all
yeah.
this stuff
Yeah,
about
the
the next
screens
Switch
are-
using LCD screens. Like, they're so different to what that original Switch screen was like.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it was Afterbot. I think I played, and Spider-Man
Yeah.
2. Yeah, like it looked amazing, and it is a tempting device, but I don't really have a need for it now. But
I mean,
yeah,
it's,
I bet that's quietly sold really well.
it's the primary reason why I buy games like generally on PS5 now is so that I can play them on that as well. Like, I always know I can play it wherever, which is pretty good. But yeah,
Cool.
next story is that
next
World of-
story, please.
Yeah,
Next story.
We can have the next story. The next story is that World of Warcraft's entire development team has now also officially unionized. So this is following on from, it was Bethesda, wasn't it, last week that had this. So there was an official vote of 500 eligible employees working on World of Warcraft, and this was certified, and now this is happening. And they're called the World of Warcraft Game Makers Guild, and they're part of the Communication Workers of America. And what was quite interesting was it was Paul Cox, who's a senior quest designer, was like talking about this and like why it was happening. And he said this isn't an attack against our World of Warcraft leadership or something where we're like, we hate these guys. We just want to make sure that our voices are being heard and that at some point we don't end up as numbers on a spreadsheet, because you go up high enough and these people have never met any of us. None of the names mean anything to them. So it's it's a protection measure.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's-
but this doesn't stop redundancies, but it helps if redundancies are to happen to make sure they're protected.
It
Yeah, they can
doesn't-
negotiate
yeah, it doesn't-
terms
Yeah,
and-
yeah,
stop
negotiate
them,
terms.
but yeah, it does make it more difficult as well for employers to do things, which is
Well, it makes it more difficult for them to do shitty things. Roles and etc. Still can be made redundant, but yeah, this protects people. But yeah, I guess this is like I guess I mean, amazing news for the team, and I reckon we're gonna see loads of these, because these all mostly been in Microsoft, haven't they? Really, I guess.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, because Microsoft's
Because of
default
that.
position is to recognise unions, right? And you do wonder is they're going to reach a point where they're like, well, hang on a minute, slow down.
Well,
Like,
I
is it
think
gonna be
Well, they
like
kind of have
so
to.
many-
That was one of the compromises of their acquisition, wasn't it?
Was it? Right.
I think it'll be once
That
the
they-
first disputes start to happen. I think they will be seen because Microsoft. I don't think Microsoft do have a completely blameless like history with unions like over time,
Right,
but we'll,
yeah.
Oh
we'll
no,
see.
no. I do wonder, is it better for unions to unionize across, like there being a union that looks after a lot of studios rather than they seem to be going for these individually.
I think that's what we have in the UK, right? I know Sarah would know if she was on because she
Oh,
talks-
okay.
Yeah, she's part of one.
talks
Yeah.
about this. Yeah. So yeah, I think there is like an industry-wide one in the UK. I can only assume
Right.
America is too big for there to be like one sort of overarching organisation. I don't
Or
know.
different. There's
Well, they're-
different laws in different
Yeah,
states.
they
as well,
may
isn't there?
prohibit that, like the
Right.
idea that you can do that. I don't know, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's different in different countries.
Okay.
Next story this is also involving strike action because this is it okay? Do I pronounce this? Is this like SAG-AFTRA? Is that
Yeah,
how this would be?
SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah. So this is the union, and they voted to go on strike. So this is the video game performers. Like this is for like voice acting, this kind of thing. They voted to go on strike starting on the 26th of July. So that was actually last Friday, and what's quite interesting about this is they actually voted on this strike action last September because they failed to like reach terms with like a number of companies. It's like Activision, Warner Brothers, EA, Take-Two, and Disney, and they were trying to negotiate a successor to what was the interactive media agreement, which covered their work on different games. But at that time, they said that the companies had refused to offer acceptable terms on a number of critical issues, including like wages that are in line with inflation, protections around exploitative uses of AI, and also job safety. But in March this year, SAG-AFTRA's National Executive Director and Chief Negotiator, Duncan Crabtree Ireland, confirmed that the strike was still likely to go ahead after the union had failed to reach a deal with companies about AI protections. So this is the focus now seems to be mostly on this idea of protections for AI. He said, we want to make sure the implementation of AI is human-centered and focused on augmentation of production, not replacement of people, he explained, adding that consent and compensation for members whose work is used by AI engines is also one of the union's aims. And so the union has just said, we're not going to consent to a contract that allows companies to abuse AI to the detriment of our members. And they says enough is enough. When these companies get serious about offering an agreement our members can live and work with, we will be here ready to negotiate. Do you want to hear the other side? This is from the
Yeah, go on.
spokesperson for the game producers. She said, we are disappointed the union has chosen to walk away when we are so close to a deal and remain prepared to resume negotiations. We have already found common ground on 24 out of 25 proposals, including historic wage increases and additional safety provisions. Our offer is directly responsive to SAG-AFTRA's concerns and extends meaningful AI protections that include requiring consent and fair compensation to all performers working under the IMA. These terms are among the strongest in the entertainment industry. Yeah, but they're obviously not happy yet, and so there is a strike ongoing at the moment. Although at the moment, UK voice artists are not impacted by this, I don't think, but they have shown solidarity.
I saw. This isn't going to be a helpful contribution, but there are apparently some developers / publishers have signed up to an agreement, which means some actors can carry on working, I believe. So I basically saw a thing saying like, don't have a go at people who are still working. It might be that they're working under this new
Right.
agreement that we actually approve of, so they're not
Yeah.
necessarily breaking the picket line. Yeah. I mean, it's a shame that it's come to this point, but I hope it works out. I hope they get what they need.
For sure.
Okay, next we have this is about Humble Games because apparently Humble Games has reportedly closed, but then apparently it hasn't. It's another one of those stories which is really not complicated, but just
They got rid of all the staff, but
Yeah,
it
and
technically
then-
still exists.
that's it's another one of those. So Humble Games was acquired by Ziff Davis through
Yeah.
IGN in 2017, and they've published like 20 games so far since 2019.
I mean, should say the differentiate between. I mean, it's part of the same thing, but they bought. So humblebundle.com is still alive and well. Yeah, was part of this purchase in 2017, but specifically what has been closed down is Humble Games, which is the publishing arm.
So that's exactly the statement I was just about to read out.
Sorry.
Well, that was a little dig there, Sean, wasn't it?
No,
Wow.
because this was the statement that came from from the management. They said, in these challenging and economic times for indie game publishing, Humble Games has made the difficult but necessary decision to restructure our operations. Additionally, the restructuring of operations at Humble Games will have no impact on operations at Humble Bundle. We are acutely aware of the profound impact this decision has on our team members at Humble Games and deeply empathise with everyone affected. So they're not technically closing, but then there were messages that came out, such as this one, which was from Nicola Kwan, who worked in the business development, and she shared this on social media. She said, at 9 a.m. this morning, 36 employees of Humble Games were told that we were being let go and that the company is shutting down. And that was that. It's so a lot of empathy. It seems they were giving.
So apparently they're bringing in like external people just to manage the release of the games they've currently got on the slate. Which is shit. Like, I mean, all right, it's marginally better, obviously, than those games just being pulled and
Yeah, it's
not
good for
having
those
funding
developers that have put everything into their games to lose it at the last second. But
obviously, any developer, especially in indie, will tell you how important that relationship is with your publisher. And that's so everyone they knew at Humble has now gone, and there'll just be some
get contractors
replacement. And
so this is Ziff Davis doing cost cutting, isn't it? I guess.
Basically. Wasn't there was a state, I can't remember who it was from, there was another employee who was let go, basically saying like the feeling he got was just that Ziff Davis weren't prepared to be a video games publisher in terms of like the timescales involved. Like they're used to there being like, work being put out and generating revenue pretty much constantly, whereas a game is like, well, no, you fund it for several years and then eventually it comes out and then hopefully you make some money back. And they just weren't prepared for that sort of pace, basically. But then how do you not know that when you buy the fucking thing in the first place?
I thought it was weird that they bought Humble Bundle, to be honest. I mean,
it's a strange one. It was. Did they ever tell you the subtle change I noticed with Humble Bundle? When you when you buy stuff from Humble Bundle, there's like a set of sliders, right? So whenever there's a bundle, it's always money going
I
to
remember
charity.
you saying this. Yeah.
So money goes to charity, money goes to the devs, and money goes to Humble, right? And back in the day, you had complete free reign.
I remember that.
You set those sliders.
I used to buy them.
Those sliders are still, well, as far as I'm aware, they're still there. But a few months after Ziff Davis bought Humble, you could no longer set the Humble cut to 0. It was like a minimum, like 10% had to go. That you could completely cut out the developers or the charity if you wanted, but not Humble. They were too important. Weird.
I kind of guess that these things need money, though, right? So, like, they were offering a service, and you weren't, a lot of people just weren't giving any money to Humble Bundle, I guess.
It's,
it was kind of mad that the people could have selected 0%, really.
Yeah, but I mean, the point stands that really you should have been able to own. If you were doing that for Humble Bundle, you should have done that for the devs and the.
Yeah, they all get 10% like minimum, and then the rest you can decide.
Why not ensure that everyone has to get a cut? Like,
it's shitty, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, extremely so.
Okay, the final news story is that the Xbox 360's marketplace is now closed. So you can't buy Xbox 360 marketplace games or DLC, but you can if they're on the backwards compatibility list. So you could buy them through Xbox One or Series S and X, right. But it just means that there's about 220 games that will disappear now.
Is that all? I thought it would have been way more than that.
No, they did. They've done a lot of work on this, on the backwards compatibility.
I know they have.
I thought just all 360 stuff was going by the way some people were talking about it, but no, it is just so you can't access the store on an Xbox 360 anymore. So that just means anything that isn't now backwards compatible.
Mm-hmm. It's gone.
I don't think video games people on Twitter helped this story much, did they? I
don't think I helped, to be fair.
I don't want to kick off with anyone, and I don't want to, point fingers or having a pop at anyone. But when I saw someone say, "Look at that, 25 years of marketplace just being removed in a day. And I was kind of like, that's not what's happening, though, is it? It's
No.
not really what's
It's still
happening,
shit,
is it?
but it's there's a bit of nuance there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you say right. So what is it? Around 220 games will disappear forever, which
Yeah.
sucks, right? Have they said what that includes? I don't think they have they? VGC analysis.
There is a
let's have
list, I
look.
think.
I
Yeah.
assume all the a load of Xblig stuff goes. Do you remember that?
Mm.
Yeah, I
Good
do
stuff in
remember
there, man.
Xblig.
It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
there was some
Burnout
really good
crashes
stuff in there.
going.
Burnout
What about
crashes?
that Doritos crash course? Is that still?
Well, this is it, and it's easy to sort of.
That is not on the
yeah.
list, so I assume it's fine. Yeah,
Oh,
safe.
Oh, well, thank God for that. Like obviously there'll be games that never, got backwards compatibility just because there was no interest in them, which isn't really
Yeah.
the point. That's not what preservation's about. You preserve everything no matter what. But obviously there will also be games that just maybe the team disbanded or whatever, and it's like when
Life is Strange is included here.
Oh, well,
It's
there you go,
getting
that's good.
removed.
like Adult Swim, because they closed their publishing arm, so a lot of their games are disappearing from storefronts and stuff. And again, they're saying like, well, that's because there's no one to, it's going to be no one to run it basically.
Mhm.
And it was on I forget which game it was, but I looked at it on Steam, and it was like, oh yeah, unfortunately, like no one at the developer is in a position to take on ownership of this game on Steam. And then I looked it up, and it was because Adult Swim had closed the studio down
Yeah,
several
that's
years
right,
prior.
Yeah.
And it's just like as if they're like, oh, we tried asking the devs, but they're not picking up the phone, and nobody
That's weird.
knows why.
No, that's right.
There is quite a lot of these games as well have already been re-released on newer systems.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
look, I think it's a nice idea to keep old stores open for as long as possible, but I don't think it's a realistic dream. I think that it would be cool if the industry came together and said, you know what, these games that are being lost forever, let's find a place to store them and sort of preserve them in one way or another. But it's look, it sucks, but I think it's inevitable that this stuff is going to happen, and it's going to happen more and more.
I suppose, yeah, and like we've said before, I guess there's that argument that like does there become a security risk because eventually you're not going to be able to keep patching things or
True.
old marketplaces. I think it's shit, and I'm not being a Microsoft apologist. Just as you say, it seems inevitable.
Well, all the other platform holders have done the same thing.
Yeah, the
as
other
well.
platform holders
Yeah.
have done the same thing. I'm pretty sure it happens to movies, for example. Some movies that were only on VHS or whatever, suddenly you can't buy them anymore. You know what I mean? It's like it happens.
You can't buy PJ Duncan's Psych now because that was VHS.
Can you not?
I doubt I haven't checked.
I had that on tape.
Yeah, so I don't. I had it on VHS. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, that sucks.
I have got one other bit of news that I didn't add to
Thank
this.
God,
this
because this
happened a
has
bit
been
later.
so sad. Like the news this
Yeah, is
week
it
has
positive?
been really
I
depressing.
don't think this next one's going to help
It's-
if it's what I think it is.
Yeah, this one's not particularly positive either. This is the Xbox One news.
Yeah.
That happened. So, okay, I'm gonna have to just try my best with this because I haven't.
Hasn't done his prep.
I haven't already summarized
Well,
it
isn't
in
it? It
my
was pretty
mind.
straightforward, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
Like basically some original Xbox Ones, if they haven't been updated for a while, now just will not go online.
Yeah, so it's
And
the
won't update either.
2013 launch model of the Xbox One, not
Which
not
we
the
know
One
you're
S or
such a
anything like that.
massive fan of.
I
Yeah.
hate that console.
piece of kit.
Absolutely hate it. But
Yours
anyway,
was broken though. We do have to.
Yeah, what is it
express-
about? It's you, James. Like your
What?
Quest is knackered. There's this.
No, I've only had two things that were knackered. It was the Quest and this, and both of them I hated them because for this reason. But anyway, what's happened with this is that there's a firmware update that it can't get, and then it can't connect to online services anymore. But they said the worst thing about it is that if you factory reset one of these consoles, if you want to sell it, then you're effectively bricking it because it won't be able to download the latest firmware. as
If you
part of
want
the
to
setup.
sell it, who's buying this?
I don't know.
CEX. Well, CEX are suddenly like panicking now, aren't they? Like,
And apparently
But-
you can't even just USB it either, right? Apparently, it's
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
It's just kind of
Yeah, that
broken.
does
I
suck.
wonder if this is like Don Matrix like Final Revenge. Where
Yeah,
he's
it's
like,
a kill switch.
he's like, I said you couldn't do this. This had to be online all the time. Well, this is
Now
what
look
Turns
at
around,
you.
he calls up Major Nelson and says, was it Order 66? Sorry, that's the nerdiest thing I've ever done in my
Jesus
life. To all the
Christ.
people that have supported me over the years, I am so sorry.
You've
so
changed.
sorry.
But it says here also that Digital Foundry have contacted Microsoft and they said they're confident the problem will be fixed, but notes that the situation raises awkward questions about the future prospects of console hardware reliant on internet connection to fully function. But, yeah.
You know when these like websites say, "Oh, we contacted Microsoft." Do you reckon they use their like AI chatbot? We are confident that is this all we can assist with you today? Yeah, well, that's what quote from Microsoft, I guess.
Yeah, but we talked to Clippy, and looks like you're trying to complain.
Fuck you, you're really off today. When the
Clippy!
chips are down. Is that it for the news, James?
Yeah, that's it.
Clippy!
Yeah.
Clippy! Right, let's get on to what you've been playing. Three of us have been playing a brand new game, and one of us has been playing a game that I have no idea what you're going to say about No Man's Sky, Sean. Fucking hell. Let's start with the new game,
I have played
Sean.
a bit of a Ranger.
Good. Which is, can I just say, it's been very strange. I don't know if anyone else amongst our team has picked up on this, but why has Matt been banging on about a Ranger for 2 weeks now? It's really odd. I don't know.
Is it?
Am I the only one that's noticed?
I found it a bit strange, yeah.
It
About
looked
three
good.
times in the chat. Is anyone getting a Ranger? Is
Oh, yeah, but
getting
it-
a Ranger?
it's-
David,
Has
you
anyone
getting
heard
a
about the
Ranger?
new hot tile shifting puzzle game?
I was excited for it. It reviewed well. I said, "Are you playing it?"
The reason I got it was because of Matt talking about it. Otherwise,
Well, you
I
didn't
probably
buy
wouldn't.
it,
Yeah.
did you, James?
I did, yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean,
But not
I
everyone's got Netflix. I
James,
don't
I
even
said
have
in the
Netflix.
group chat it's on Netflix.
I bought it too because
Yeah,
I
I
wanted to play on
bought it too.
PlayStation.
I think you're the only one that played it on Netflix. I'm playing it on Switch. What
I
are you
didn't want to.
playing
I
it on?
wanted to play on PS5. I didn't want to play
How
it on
do
my
you-
phone.
How do you... Okay, this is ridiculous. I should know this. How do you play it on Netflix?
You open the Netflix app and then there's a games tab.
So I'd have to play it on my
You should
mobile
just
phone.
download it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of course
that's
don't
why I
wanna do
didn't
that.
bother.
I don't want to do that.
Why the controls a
Why?
bit involved in this? Are they a bit...
I just don't want to do that.
We're
how-
all middle
what's-
class now, Sean. We don't have to do that. It's just £15 on the Switch. Get it done.
Yeah, sorry, David. So explain. So I was excited about the game to look good, and it reviewed well. So I said, "Who's getting this?"
Cool. But why did you say who's getting this 4 times within the space of about a week?
I don't think I said it 4 times in a week. Did I?
All right.
Oh, you did check the message
see-
now. Gone.
Seen it. Right. How far into it are you?
I'm 8 hours in. I'm right at the end because I've got the bit where it
8
says.
hours.
I don't, yeah, just under it. Yeah. So I've got a message that says, "Hey, this is the last time you got to do this." So
Yeah, I'm past that point.
Yeah,
but I think
I'm
I've
in
played
the
it for
last-
4.
all right, yeah.
I don't think it's that long. If there's much after where I'm at, I think I'll have it done in under 5 hours. But did you do loads of side quest stuff then? Because
I don't know if I mean, I crucially turned on the clock, which is great because most like games don't have like an actual clock where it ticks there. So I've got like the step counter turned on and the clock on, and it pause. And every time I pause it, it stops that. So it's not like I've kept on pause for hours.
According
Yeah,
to how long to beat, I know Ben's just put it in the chat as well. 4 hours main story, 6 hours completionist.
right, so
Okay,
you're for 8
sorry, mate.
hours. Should I see how much I'm?
Well, no, I mean,
wanna
but
check my
I read
clock.
like a review from Alice Bell, and she says 8 hours. So I'm not the only one taking 8 hours. But yeah, I
so
think I'm right at the
we've-
end.
We've missed the main point here, isn't it? A Ranger is a puzzle adventure game, where you control. Imagine looking at a Zelda game, but if it was a slide puzzle. You know those little side puzzles that you get from you.
Yeah, I used
when
to
you were a
bloody
kid?
love them.
Yeah, I used to fucking love those.
I
as
still
well.
love 'em
They're
now.
Great.
I
Yeah,
can't stand
I've
them.
got a lot of time for them.
And I know
Yeah,
James
well,
hates them
then
as well,
you
'cause we've
might
talked about
not
this before.
like this game. Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have. But there's a little bit more to it than that. There's a lot of the idea is that when you move left or right within the game world, whatever is horizontal on a horizontal or vertical plane also shuffles over by 1 square. And then when you get to the end of an area, you press left, you appear on the right hand side of the screen, and there are rules and limitations around what you can and cannot do. Sometimes there's rocks in the way that stops you jumping to the other side or stops you moving the world in the way that you want to. Sometimes there's bodies of water or gaps within the world which limits to where you can jump to and stuff like that. It's draped. There's a story that sort of drapes, pulls everything together, where you control what's her name?
Gemma.
Gemma. You control Gemma, who seems to be a bit of an outcast in her village, and she leaves the village for the first time to go and discover her story, really, because she was left at the village doors when she was a baby and taken in, and they actually don't like her because she keeps fucking up the world around her as she's moving about. What have you made of it, Matt? While you're talking about it, while you're just giving your first impressions, I want to go and see how long I've been playing it for, because I bet it's longer than I actually have been. But yeah, I think, go on.
Yeah, I really like it, but I used to and still love these sliding puzzles. I went to a museum of Elodie only like a few weeks ago and had one of these things in like the exhibition we were at, and I was like, I've got to get it done. I've just always found them satisfying, and this is also incredibly satisfying to do. I just love trying to work out what the puzzles are, and often I'm just like doing it without really kind of knowing like exactly what my strategy is. I'm just like pushing things. I'm trying to push against the environment, see how well I come out the other side. And some puzzles I'm nailing in seconds. Other puzzles I'm taking a bit longer. Obviously now as the complexity is ramped up with other kind of tools, other things you've got to move around in the level, it gets much more complex. I really like the fact that you're not just moving maybe from A to B, but and typically the puzzles are like single screen. But then also you're trying to go across like a whole islands, a whole kind of, there's like a desert area, there's like a snowy area, I think it's like a foresty area. So you're not just like trying to do the per screen puzzle of getting from A to B, and often you can see the exit. It's also you're trying to like navigate the whole environment. But then they also use it like in really clever ways. There are like monsters on these grids, but there's no real combat. What you're doing is you're basically trying to either pull or push a sword into a monster, and that's often the case of you might see like a number of different swords, and you're trying to pull one from one end to get these monsters, and often there's maybe like a couple of monsters or some holes, and you're trying to like line things up and say if they all go right now, that's too high, and it's just I've just found everything I've done it incredibly satisfying. But you're not just doing that. There's also things like there's other mechanics. There's like a raft at one point, and that is like another layer of having to move things around to get from island to island. You're at one point you meet this farmer with these sheep, and you're trying to shear the sheep by moving the scissors towards the sheep. And yeah, I think every time I've found a new way to use this mechanic, either to navigate the environment or to solve a puzzle, I found it incredibly satisfying. And as the complexity is ramping up, it's still good. Last night I was trying to do one in the mines. I think the mines like the sub or the side missions, and they're much harder. In fact, last night was the first time I said I was going to go back and do like the main quest, because there's one I was taking ages and I literally couldn't work out how to do this side mission.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about the side mission stuff. I haven't really naturally come across anything. So it feels like, so I just checked, actually I have played it for longer than I originally thought. I'm on 4 hours 45 minutes essentially. Right, what are you laughing at?
Well, no, because it was a gag. Like I thought the implication was you were going to say 6, but actually it's just 40 minutes longer than you said.
Right, no. But like I haven't done any side stuff that I'm aware of, because I think that stuff, I just haven't naturally come across it. And there's no obvious, hey, why don't you go down this way? It's very clear about where you need to go. There's always like, oh, you need to go to the east, or or there are, it doesn't try and hide things away from you. So I've always sort of just followed the main. In fact, actually, it wasn't until this morning when I looked at how long to beat and see how much it was that I realised that there were side quests. Like I had no idea.
Oh, right, okay. Side quests. Yeah, I've done a couple of mine ones where there's like whole different mechanics I hadn't even seen in the main game. There's ones where you see these, they're like ropes essentially, and every time you move forward, they move forward. But when they go back to like their kind of, they extend, and when they go back to the start of where like the rope originates from, like a door will close. So you've got almost like try and like keep walking forward, and then by pressing against the surface to skip right to the top or right to left or right. You're trying to get through the door before the rope gets back to the start. Anyway, it's really difficult one I tried to do last night, but I've done a couple of them, or 2 or 3 of them, I reckon.
I'm not sure where I sit with the storytelling in the game. The storytelling, there are a couple of things. Firstly, the writing, it's light-hearted and it tries to be funny, but it's never actually funny, if you know what I mean. Like there are bits where you go, oh, okay, like but never
I'll
actually
agree with
making
that.
you laugh.
There's a bit. Oh yeah,
like-
okay.
From what I've played, I've enjoyed the dialogue, but it's like everyone might as well be one character, right? It's like no
Yeah,
character has like
totally.
their own voice.
Mm.
Like, they're
Yes,
all kind
it
of
is
the
a little
same
bit
style.
sports story like that, or
Yeah,
golf
yeah.
story, you know, where there's that sort of sarcastic overtone to everything. But it's not sarcasm here. It's just a sort of okay, all right, is that what we're
Yeah.
doing? It's all that sort
Whimsical.
of stuff, and you're going
Yeah, yeah.
okay, all right. But I really like how so a lot of the story is told through storyboarding, and there are two ways in which it does it. One I think really works, and one I think doesn't. The one that I think really works is when you're moving through an area, say a forest. There are storyboard screenshots around the area that you're moving in,
Yeah, that's really
indicating
nice.
what
Yeah,
the
those are
character's
nice.
actually doing. So you know you're actually just pressing left, and the character's moving over to the left. But then you're going past sort of a storyboard of the main character crossing a rickety bridge or whatever, and you're going, oh, I see. Like it gives you like a real tone to it, which I think is really good. What I don't think works is that there's quite a pivotal moment in a village that you know the village bit where you meet all these new villagers and you do, and something happens, and when at certain points in the story, it literally brings up a cell of animation, and you press A, and then it goes cell.
Oh, I
cell.
really like them.
But
Well,
I, don't
I like the
think they
artwork.
tell
It's-
you enough. Like I don't. It looks okay, but I don't think it tells you enough because there was supposed to be this catastrophic event, and the only reason where I turned around and went, "Oh no, this was a big deal that what's just happened," is when the characters were talking afterwards, and I sort of thought, "Hold on, did I miss something?" So I watched the YouTube video of that bit again just to see and I was like, no, I didn't miss something. It was just really not clear enough what was going on there. So I'm sort of in between with the storytelling. I mean, the story's not brilliant, and I'm not massively into what's going to happen to the lead character, but I don't think it's perfectly told.
No,
despite
it's
it
quite a
doing
light
some really
touch.
nice things.
Yeah, it's like a touch, but I just love the artwork, and I like those bits where you see like cells of of graphics or whatever. I think they're nice. Like often if you're because there are boss encounters as well. Although there's no combat, the boss encounters are often again you're trying to hit a boss 3 times. That might be a case of like moving around the environment. You're trying to get a sword into it, or there's other bits where you're trying to place items on 3 different kind of like buttons at the same time to attack these bosses. But again, when you do that,
that last one of that. I mean, the bosses are really good. They've really thought about the bosses. There's not enough of them really.
no,
We've
I
only
wouldn't mind
done,
more. Yeah, I
like,
think
3
they're
of
really
them.
clever. Yeah,
Yeah. They've all been really good.
yeah.
That one, the last one for that, really had me thinking. I was going, "What the fuck?" Although to be fair, I would say in terms of difficulty, it's I've not found it too challenging. There's not been a point where I really had no clue what to do, and I have actually solved it by accident a few times where I've gone, "Okay, that seems to work. Let's crack on."
Yeah, I've done that a couple
which
of
is
times. And I'll go
not
back
too
to how
different.
did I do that? Like, because I often it's like I press
Yeah.
every surface. I'm here now. I'm like so apparently there's a hint system in it, but I haven't seen it. So there are
Oh, really?
well in like maybe I haven't turned it on because in the menu, like the settings, there is an assist thing, so maybe that's why I haven't seen it. But basically, Pool said if you try and do something enough times, a little icon will appear saying, "Do you want to skip this?" Maybe because I haven't turned it on in settings, but I never saw that, so I guess that's why the case. Again, because you can skip entire kind of puzzles, I guess, if you can't be bothered to do them. But it's only that one in the side mines that I went back and just thought I'll do this another time, maybe. But
I think
think
it's really
I think
good. I'm
difficulty
really
is really
enjoying
good.
it. Yeah, I'm really enjoying my time with it. I really love the music. I really love the puzzles that it sets out to do. There are times where I look at it and go, "Oh, you just found a way of presenting the link pushing one's like what was it, like a crate." You know, you found a way of rethinking this idea, and actually, it's pretty damn similar to those puzzles. You just thought of it in a different way. But I'm really enjoying it, and I'm glad I bought it for sure. James, you're very quiet, and it worries me that you didn't want to just shit on this game while we're
I'm not.
talking about it.
I'm not gonna shit on it. I mean,
Okay.
I was skeptical about playing this,
Because
because
you hate puzzle games, right?
yeah, and I mean, I bought it because Matt kept going on about it, and I thought, you know, we should probably
I don't
do
know how many
that.
times I mentioned it. Probably twice in the group.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah, should replay it. But I mean, I got past the first boss, and I went into the woods or whatever, and then I deleted the game.
What?
No,
You're kidding me?
I deleted it because I just okay. This is a me problem. This is not a problem with the game. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the game. I'm sure it's very good. I just don't like slide puzzles. I just really don't like them. And I sat
I also
there.
hate them, like the traditional ones, because and this has happened a few times with a range. This isn't me. I'm not slagging off a ranger. I'm just saying the fundamental problem I have with those sliding tile puzzles is that you can do 90% of it, and then you're like, right, just need to get this one tile. Oh no, in order to get this one tile into the right place, I've got to undo most of it.
Yeah,
I've just
that's what I
done.
love. That's what I love it about them.
I hate that.
And that's
So
the
just
why.
just we go on. I've counted how many times I mentioned a ranger in the group.
Yeah.
It's 3 times. I said a message on Thursday saying anyone's getting a ranger today. It looks great and it's reviewed well. And then I think Shaw mentioned about it from Netflix. I said I bought a ranger on PS5 and it's really interesting. And I said later on yesterday, anyone else playing a ranger?
You also mentioned it on the bonus show, I think, and before we start recording, there's been a lot of a Ranger chat.
Mention it
from
before
you
we
about-
start recording today. We're talking about the game. Yeah, mad.
I thought that's why I asked you last night if you completed it, because I was like, why is guys, a Ranger guys? I was like, oh no dear. All right,
No.
Matt. Okay, calm down. It's only a bit of fun, isn't it? Okay, when the chips are down, you gotta chill
It's all done.
out.
No, it's like as I said, like I can completely appreciate. Like, I really like the art style. I thought that was great. I mean, I did like the whole panels, you know, telling the story and the music and all that kind of stuff. I just sat there and just thought, I'm not enjoying this. Like, I got through the first, like, you know, as I said, the first boss, and then I just thought, I'm just not enjoying it, and I couldn't face, because I'd heard it was 8 hours, and I just thought, I can't face the thought of
Yeah,
8
that's
hours
It's
of
not
this.
that long at all. It's
You
not
know?
that long at all. Look, James. I mean, saying it's like a slide puzzle, I think is shorthand, but I also think it's very wrong, because
It's an
it's never
oversimplification,
that
yeah.
restrictive.
No,
it's
I know
never
it's-
that restrictive or
No, I
boring.
know what you mean, but okay, forget about the fact that it's a slide puzzle. What I saw in that first hour and a half or so of it, does it significantly change as the game goes on?
Yeah, new mechanics come into play. Like I think, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. The true answer to that, annoyingly, is yes and no. I think in terms of what you're doing and the mechanics that it brings into the puzzles, you know, it changes significantly enough. But I think ultimately, if you haven't enjoyed that base
Yeah.
movement and that idea of shuffling things around to, you know,
Yeah.
arrange them, then yeah, I can't see you enjoying what it has later on down the line.
No,
'Cause
yeah, I
you
mean,
really
if
have
that
to-
doesn't feel satisfying, like,
Yeah,
and
but
that's
you
why I love
really-
it. It feels satisfying, and not when you know, it's solving a puzzle is about to solve a puzzle. It's just satisfying, enjoyable. But if you don't even feel it from that, then yeah, even the
I
extra
really
complexity
didn't.
is not going to do anything for you. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's the
because
thing,
if
and
you're
I'm
not relishing that stuff, like, you can't get anywhere without engaging, which is part of the, you know, the metaphor, right? The way it ties in with the story, as you say, the main character is kind of this outcast, and there's this whole thing that, like, she's messy, and everywhere she goes, things get fucked up, and it's like, yes, and that is the mechanic, in that she physically shuffles the world around it just by simply walking through it. And I get that, and that's really smart. But equally, yeah, it means there's not a single corridor you can walk down without being like, oh right, hang on, what do I do now?
See, and that's why, like, I wouldn't shit on this, like, because I just wouldn't, because it's just, this is me.
I wouldn't shit on it if it was on fire. Yeah. So that's where that's where he's coming from, isn't it?
It's just I just didn't enjoy it, and I didn't enjoy it because I don't enjoy this kind of game very much, and that's why.
What
It's
do you mean
nothing-
this kind of like what? Because you like Zelda, right? And
Yes,
but
yeah.
I know Zelda obviously has combat in it, but it has a lot of puzzling too, and a lot of similar puzzling. Like honestly, I mean what I say when I'm talking about, specifically made me
just
think of
hate
the
that.
opening
I know.
of Wind Waker, where a lot of that game was shuffling blocks around to be able to progress.
I know, but I just hate that whole thing of being like rigidly stuck to the ground and like moving the ground. I don't know what it is. It's just something about the way that the game moves. I just find irritating. It's just, I
What do
don't
you
know.
think about Bomberman?
Not a big fan of that either.
What about
to be
Choo
honest.
Choo Rocket?
Love a bit of Bomberman.
Fine, but
Okay.
Look.
About
I
Chips
really
Challenge?
like it. It's funny. It's one of
yeah,
those
see,
games
Chips
that
Challenge I hated as well. But yeah, go on.
it's one of those games that I kind of feel like I should love it, and I don't think I do. I don't think it's like a 9 or a 10 if I was reviewing it. I think I'd be hard pushed to give it an 8 even. But it sits somewhere between there 7 or 8 for me. But I do think I'd recommend it to a lot of people. Especially people that like those sort of environmental puzzle sort of games. I think this is a good one of those. I do feel that it could have gone further though. I feel like I think the game is at its best when you're in a dungeon, right? And you're coming across these rooms, and there are specific puzzles that you have to solve to progress, right? I think that is where the game is at its best. But those dungeons last like 5 or 6 screens, and there's no exploration. It doesn't get overcomplicated, which I appreciate, but I do kind of think actually it needed that little bit more confidence to go. Actually, you're in a dungeon now, and this is not something that you just like blast through. You're going to spend your time in this area, and I feel that it never really gets to that.
I think that's what the side missions are for, though. I think if you explored some more of them, I think they're definitely a step up in terms of complexity and
then make the
difficulty,
side missions a little bit more integral to the world that I'm exploring, because
or a bit more
like,
obvious,
as I said,
at least.
if I got to that point in the story and they're going, hey, listen, you want to go and do other things, or do you want to get to the last little bit because you won't be able to come back? And I'm thinking, what other things? And then I don't even know how to get anywhere else from here, so I guess I'll just crack on. Yeah, so look, it's got some failings, but ultimately, fucking great game. Like, I really enjoy playing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's stunning. I'll probably give it an 8 or maybe an 8.5 if we're doing half marks. Yeah, I think the story is very light, but it's fine. It served the purpose. I love the presentation, and for me, ultimately, it's just the simple. The thing that James hates is the thing I love. It's like it just feels satisfying, and yeah, and I guess my love for these silent puzzles in real life is just it's really satisfying and enjoyable to play.
I should say that the only reason I've not played more of this is it's currently mine and Isaac's bedtime game. So we generally, when I do bedtime, we'll play something on my phone for like 20 minutes. But obviously, there's like a lot of caveats there. It's got to be something that's quite relaxed. It's got to be something that's ideally, genuinely good. There's not a lot that fits into that category. And yeah, he's because he's taken to, what's that other one that's on Netflix? Is it Paper Trail? So it's a similar sort of thing, but where you're folding the environment as if it's a piece of paper and creating new routes and stuff.
Okay.
So that's what he plays when Nu does bedtime. Whereas I've started playing a ranger with him, and he's really into it. So I don't want to like just blast through it while he's not around. So we've had like a couple of really nice sessions, and it's been really cool because he's now at the point where he's like I'm not necessarily the source of all his gaming knowledge at this point. Like he's understanding stuff on his own terms.
God, imagine if you were.
I know.
God, that kid would miss out on some quality Call of Duty.
But he'll love Flobble Dobble too. So.
And it's just been really nice where like I'll be struggling with a puzzle and he'll just be like, "Dad, just give me the phone," and then he'll just do it, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, he's clever."
Yeah,
this kid. Oh my God, I wish you'd have seen what I saw this weekend. Something similar. You just reminded me of something I saw this weekend. Yeah. One of the funniest fucking things. So I went down to my parents. Sorry to go off the rails here, but I've got to tell you this. I was down at my parents this weekend, and my sister was down there with her daughter, and we were just chatting in the kitchen for a while. I walk in, and Harry and my niece were laying down with their hand on their chin, looking at a chessboard, and there was a game going on, right? And I just stopped and I thought, fucking hell, what's going on in here? Like, this is the last thing I thought they would be good at doing. And my niece picked up a pawn and moved it backwards, and I fucking wet myself. I thought that was one of the funniest things I'd walked in on ever. It was so perfect because for a moment I thought they're geniuses.
God, they're actually playing chess.
Yeah, they
And
got
she
into
did
it.
that,
No.
and I fucking pissed myself. Sorry. Sure, that just reminded me of what you have a genius son, and I don't. It's where
But yeah,
I get it.
I really thought, because as you're well aware, I was excited for this. And when Sean said it's on Netflix, I'm like, here we go. I might actually finally do this. And I went to the app. Admittedly, it wasn't available at the time, but it was probably available like an hour or two later. But I also thought, I just want to play this on the TV. I don't really want to play it. I know it's like free per se with a subscription, but I just, no, I'd rather pay to play it on PS5. So I did. Maybe one day I'll play a Netflix game, and it is handy. But so you just, you can't. I was going to ask you, James, because you have an Apple TV. I was like, could you cast it to Apple TV and use a Bluetooth controller? Do you do anything like that, Sean? Or you literally just play it all on the phone?
I haven't done. No, I don't think.
Maybe you
that's an
can't do
option.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, according to the chat on iPhone, you can just download the game from the App Store. It's just there.
Well, yeah,
like,
because
you
that's
don't
all.
have to go
Like the
into
Netflix app just sends you to the App Store
Yeah.
for the or the Play Store. It's
And you
just
log
a-
in what with your Netflix details, do you? On the game?
Yeah, basically you open it up and it's just taps into the your Netflix account.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I was having a play on PS5. You play on Switch, do you, David?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the few games where I didn't mind all the sounds that came out of the controller. You know, 'cause when you're like hitting against the surface and like the haptics were quite nice on the PS5 pad. It was like didn't annoy me. Whereas most of the time I'm like turning it right off. But yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, it's an alright game. It's an alright game. Not everyone's a banger. Not everyone's crap. This one is an okay game and worth the money. Really, 15 quid. I thought by the time I got to where I was like, I thought I'd only paid it for 3 hours. So I was like, how can you? Oh, come on! But considering I'm already nearly at 5, I think it's probably worth the money. That was a Ranger, and as you say, as Sean says, if you got Netflix, you've got the game. So go to your phone and play it on that if you're curious. Sean, No Man's Sky, is it?
Yeah, brand new game just come out.
No, it's not. Come out ages ago.
We've not
Quickly,
seen this.
James. Quickly, James. When did it come out? Don't look it up.
No
What
Man's
year?
Sky.
Yep.
What year are we now? 2024. Okay, 2017.
Oh,
No,
close.
I was going to say 2018.
18.
No,
2016.
2016.
Oh, wow.
2016. 9th of August, 2016.
Yeah, so first year TCGS. Wow.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
That's the game that made me buy a PS4. It's
Really?
yeah.
But before launch.
Yeah,
Wow,
the game
it
didn't
was
come out and
released
he heard all the
PlayStation
great.
4
Yeah.
Windows
Quick.
August 2016 and for Xbox One in July 2018. Mad.
Worth the wait.
Mad. That is nearly 10 years old. Okay.
It's had another big update, which it seems to have.
Why?
every sort of-
They won't stop, will they?
It's kind of incredible. Like, regardless of
Definitely
what you think
incredible.
of
Yeah.
the game itself, it's amazing that they've made this, well, seemingly made this business model work, where they haven't charged for a single bit of DLC or anything. They just keep adding shit, and every time they do, I mean, on Steam certainly, it shoots back up the charts every time.
Yeah, it was like when I
nuts.
mean, I think it might have been on sale, but it was like one of the most played on Steam last week.
Yeah. Like, it just seems to keep finding more people to buy it. Yeah, so they've done this update that completely, well, according to them, completely changes the way it generates planets and terrain and stuff. So now it does rivers, right? For example, and they've looks loads better. There's much more sort of believable / recognizable looking planets. So I thought, you know what? I've been looking for an excuse to go back.
Yeah.
Because I do, every 6 months I'll go back and I'll do the first hour.
Yeah,
and
I've done that so many times.
Yeah,
Every time's a new
and-
DLC.
and every time I'm like, yeah, the menus are still quite annoying. It's weird they haven't fixed them yet, but whatever. And then they usually sort of tap out. But this really felt like, we've regenerated the entire universe, felt like a good enough sort of jumping back on point. Yeah, I mean, I've done like a couple of hours, and I have really enjoyed being back on it. Obviously, it helps that I haven't played it, as I say, for like 6 to 9 months or whatever. So there's
Yeah.
tons of new stuff. Um, I, sp- I let Isaac play it for a bit, just put it on the creative modes. There's no cost to travel or anything.
Right.
And
I want to ask you about that. Sorry, go
yeah,
on.
I thought I was just going to say, yeah, and I left him on it for 10 minutes, and then I heard him like absolutely cackling, and it turned out he'd found these animals that were essentially, imagine like a cow that's
Yeah.
blue and got a little pair of butterfly wings, and it's like floating around with all its legs just sort of hanging. Isaac managed to tame one of them and was riding around on it.
That is
And
that
he
is Doctor Doom level stuff, isn't it?
He was absolutely pissing himself laughing. And so I was like, right, I didn't know that was in the game.
So can I just
Go on.
ask you about creative mode just
Yes.
quickly, right? Because last time I downloaded this, I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to give it a go and maybe play with Harry. I was like, what I want is a mode where I start on a planet and I can get on a spaceship and I fly to another planet or just fly around and then just hop wherever I want and not worry about anything. But it still asked me to go and gather things, and so I can start off. And it was like,
Creative
like,
mode,
what?
you're free of all that. The story is still there, and it will still be like, oh, you got to fly here and check out this relic and get some code off it and some more coordinates and da-da-da. And so there's still that sort of breadcrumb trail to follow. But
Okay.
yeah, you don't have to do any of the resource management stuff. in
So I
creative mode.
literally start on a planet, I can get into that ship and just fly off into space
Yes.
straight away.
Correct.
Good, right. I might download that again then.
I
So
might
I'm-
give that a try, honestly, because that. See, I kind of
Do it in
when
VR,
I-
James.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, I could do that actually. That'd be quite cool.
That was great when we did when we did a PSVR2 No Man's Sky stream.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Yes, I mean,
Except we tried to kill
there's like standard mode. I forget what it's called. Then there's relaxed mode, which is the one I play it on, where basically the resource management stuff is still there, but it's massively reduced. And then there's like a hardcore survival mode, and then there's creative mode, which is fly wherever you want. It doesn't matter, but the story is still there to follow if you want it.
But the story, have they done anything with that, or is it still?
I mean, technically, yes. I've not felt particularly engaged with any of it. Like, certainly early doors, it feels like it's just like going to computers and it's like, oh, records are damaged. Here's half a text file with half the words bleeped out or whatever because it's all damaged, isn't it? And you're trying to figure. It's like, yeah, but what you're giving me isn't compelling enough for me to be like, oh, I wonder what the missing words are. I wonder what's going on. So it's fine as an excuse to sort of guide your exploration a little bit.
Is there much interaction with anything else though? Like in
Yeah,
this
so
game
there's
still?
loads of NPCs now.
Okay.
Not so much on the planets. Like you still got to find like little bases and facilities and stuff. But like for example, this is quite a neat example I realised today. So you go to the space stations now. They're way bigger. There's about 8 different shops with all different NPCs and like people walking around and stuff, and a big computer at the back that lets you build your own spaceships, etc., etc. And then so playing it today, I saw this space station that had clearly been like attacked. Right, it was all busted and bits flying off it, bits of electricity sparking out. I was like, oh shit, what's gone on here? It flew into it, and this like dismal abandoned station with nothing to do in it was the model that they used to use as the standard space station. And I was like,
Okay.
oh right, yeah.
Oh,
By
right,
comparison,
nice.
this is now like, oh, this is tiny and fucked. Like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? So there's way more NPCs to interact with now.
Speaking of the
also-
old stuff, sorry, Sean,
That's all right.
I did actually, after I saw this, watch the trailer, it looked great. I thought, hang on, what does the original one look like? And I think they have now got it better looking than the
Yes.
original one that they said they'll never get there. Or it would look so different, whatever it was at the time.
like-
But it does look better in terms of the detail and
Yeah.
all the stuff you see now. It's just,
I will
it's
say,
incredible.
in terms of this, the whole universe has been regenerated. Everything's more interesting now. 90% of the planets you land on will still be pretty much the same sort of thing. Like, oh, this another barren moon with some rocks on it. But then also in the space of a couple of hours, I've seen some really weird and interesting stuff. Like we landed on this one planet where there was just these like weird sort of giant metal hexagons just spinning around in the air. And just like, fuck, that's okay. Don't know what that is. There's like this one time where I was like flying through, I had like my pulse drive on, the one you use to hop between planets in one solar system, and it came up saying like, oh, there's like subspace disturbance or whatever, and I was like, oh shit, what does that mean? Turn my engines off, and just this big horrible fucking space creature just appeared in front of me, and I absolutely shat it.
Oh,
So
no.
there's stuff in it like that where I'm just like, oh, fair dues, this is fucking weird.
Is
And
it
quite
still, you
surprising.
still going around naming stuff that's not been named? Like you still
Yes.
discovering stuff?
Yeah. And you can now, because apparently I never clocked this because I never bothered naming stuff. But you can now like name things after you've left the planet. I think it used to be you had to be on the planet, whereas now, yeah, you can have visited somewhere and then later on be like, right now I'm going to go through and actually name things or whatever. If you want.
Right.
I mean, the chance of anyone else ever discovering it. Is
Yeah, it's
basically
mostly
nil,
so rare.
Yeah.
But this update's got kind of Helldivers like bugs, isn't it? Or
Yeah, well, so this is the other thing I really want to get involved in. And again, this is something they've been doing for a while now with the expedition mode, which is basically every couple of months there will be this expedition mode, and they change it up every few months, and it's like a guided sort of exploration thing, and there's like puzzles and combat encounters and stuff. And the idea is it focuses the community on one bit of the universe, and is like, right, here's a series of like designed puzzles and encounters and stuff. Sounds really interesting, and you get like exclusive like ship parts and stuff that you can then use in other modes. Sounds class, but I've never got around to getting involved, so I do really want to try that this time. Yeah, it's good. It's got that feeling, I was saying like with Cyberpunk, when the expansion came out and everything, and I was like, right, I feel like I can just play it now and not be thinking like, yeah, but what are they going to add next week? Right? Am I playing what will one day be an inferior version? I feel like I'm now just playing it and not thinking about before and after,
Yeah.
And it's
I
nice
should-
to be able to play this game in that way.
That's
should play this
that's very
again.
much a problem with games like this and Cyberpunk, because you come away, there's part of it will always be tainted because you feel like you were robbed of that first experience, because you played it day one.
Yeah.
You didn't have that big wow moment, and it's hard to get that back, even though no matter how well the game has been worked out, like how good the game is now, there will still be that lingering feeling of, oh yeah, I remember when I first played this bit and it was shit and pissed me off, It's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, No Man's Sky, pretty good.
I
Cool.
need to go back. I need to play some more. I mean, maybe I'll download it and try it with the PSVR 2 as well and see.
Well,
Yeah, I need to
what-
try the PC VR version as well.
Problem is, it's the worst time now. This summer drought is nearly over. We've had a Ranger. We've got the quirky British game.
I think there's been
Everyone's
like
saying-
there's
3 or
still-
4
yeah,
weeks
so
of
thank
good
goodness
stuff
you hear that.
actually.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's still I've still not dug into Flintlock. Played a bit of that and really quite enjoyed
Oh,
it.
I
Yeah.
played a bit of that, and I wasn't
weren't keen, were you?
massively.
No.
Well, I didn't hate it, but there was part of it me that was like, this just feels like it felt way cheaper than I thought it would.
Yeah, I know
Um,
what you mean.
And like it feels like really low budget. However, when you get the double jump and dash,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, the movement actually feels pretty good. So
yeah.
I had a little bit more hope for it after
Yeah.
getting that. But
Just encouraged
Yeah,
by
not-
it being by it having like some of the interesting design elements of a Souls game, but it's not a prick about it.
well, yeah, I mean, the first thing that blew my mind was that it going. What level difficulty do you want it on?
yeah.
I was like, oh shit,
Low,
here we
please.
go.
No,
we're
I've
talking-
kept it on
yeah.
normal so far. But I say I've only played about 40 minutes. But there's also Dungeons of Hinterberg, which looks right
Yeah,
up my
that's
street.
downloaded and
Yeah,
installed,
so,
and we've had Still Wakes the Deep. We've had that Nobody Wants to Die. Yeah, we've had 3 or 4 weeks, I reckon, of good stuff. But yeah, what's that British one that comes out on Friday,
thank
Thursday?
goodness you're
Sorry?
here.
Thank goodness you're here. That
I'm really looking
yeah.
forward to that. I was saying on WhatsApp earlier, but like when I talked about it on the show, I was saying, yeah, it's funny, not much of a game though. But then after that, I got Isaac to just play through it, and it was the fucking funniest. Like he absolutely adored it, and it was just so funny watching him play it. So I might just let him play it. And just
Is it
watch,
going to be one of
but
those games that you can get it done in 2 hours, or is it like
apparently,
an
yeah,
actual
it's
game?
literally
Oh,
about
okay.
2 hours long,
Oh,
which
okay,
is
right.
a bit disappointing.
It's had very good reviews, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
to be-
so far, yeah.
All right, that's what we've been playing. Let's do a few questions.
I've actually got time for him this week. It's not.
Yeah, I know,
Doesn't
it's
usually
crazy,
happen,
isn't it?
does it?
No, let's wrap
Yeah.
up.
Which means Matt is going to be drinking the answers out now for the next
I won't
20
answer then.
minutes or so.
How about
If you want to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear-tcgs. It'll just be, mingled in with all the feedback as well. But we'll sort it. Don't worry about it. Although actually, if you could just put question or feedback at the start, it does actually help quite a lot. Just
Yeah.
saying.
Please don't start doing that though, because not when I say I'm not talking to the listeners there, I'm talking to you, Sean, because that just reminds me of why look, I like Adam Buxton. I think he's very funny, but I did start to go off his podcast when every Christmas he gave us a lecture on how to message the show.
Yeah.
Just think about how many paragraphs. Like, listen to last year's one and see how long they were. And, maybe just keep it to that length instead of... And in the subject, put this. And I'm like, you earn a lot of money from this. Pay for a producer if you...
I was going to say, I dare say he doesn't actually sort through any of them himself anyway.
Well, this is it, isn't it? It really... So just do what you want. That's the message from TCGS. Do what you feel.
Sam Higton.
Yes.
Because having just listened to the latest back page pod, can you please get Sean to tell us more about Go Beckham for the Game Boy Advance? Gladly. It's a good fucking game. It's a 2D platformer where you play as David Beckham, apparently signed off by the man himself. And what's this? I can't remember. Basically, there's like monsters on Football Island.
Oh, nightmare.
You have to turn them back into animals. I think they used to be animals. By kicking them with a magic football. But it's genuinely just a really good 2D platformer, like really gorgeous artwork. It's a good time. And obviously it's just quite funny that it's official David Beckham propaganda.
I've got the clip, and I did find it interesting. Should we listen to it? I'm going to. I've already announced publicly that I'm going to refer to them as the Backstreet Boys. So let's listen to the Backstreet Boys talk about Sean.
But number 100 in the number 100 in the third party list is the David Beckham game on GBA. Go Beckham, whatever it's called. And it's Sean Bell wrote the entry, I believe. Yeah. It's a Sean Bell ass pick. But like it's again like that, obviously would never make a top 100 of the two combined. But it's
yes,
that's just like. But again,
can I ask, how do you feel about it being described as a Sean Bell ass pick? Because
can we get a Sean Bell ass pick?
A Sean Bell ass pick.
If only he's involved in the bet.
You can put on
I
a
don't
sticker
know
or something.
how much Sam knows you, so I don't know, because he's right and he's wrong, right? So if he doesn't know you that well, then maybe he's thinking that you're just being wacky. But if he does know you very well, then that is definitely a Sean Bell ass pick.
I feel like that's something you would only say about someone that you feel you know their taste quite well, which, as you say, I've never really spoken to Sam and I don't know him personally. So I took that as like a sort of kind ribbing. I think.
God, and they won't come on this show because they're worried about us taking the piss out of them.
That's true, yeah.
There's
me getting savage with no right to reply.
No right to reply was there, Sam?
I thought it was good-natured. I think it was Ben in the chat was like, "Nah, they were taking the piss, mate."
But what if he like tweets us like in the week and just goes, "No, I don't like Sean."
No, I think he's full
too
of
wacky.
Shit. He's a contrarian.
I think he's full of shit.
Doesn't even like football.
He's trying to pretending to think out the box for likes.
Do that. Do get lots of likes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, it's a good game. It's worth seeking out.
All right, I want to stream of that.
I might do a stream of it. That'd be a good laugh.
What was it? What did it come out on? Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Oh, I've probably got it on my what do you call it?
Emulator. Oh, that, yeah.
What do you mean, shush?
Illegal, Dave. I don't care. I'm joking.
Wait, look.
He's got the original cartridge.
Okay, well there you go.
Oh, shut up.
I was so tempted there. I just said, I'll leave it to Matt.
Go on.
Ty Melonballer says if you could have the abilities of any video game character but still look like yourself for 1 hour in real life, who would it be and what would you do? No licensed characters like Superman or Luke Skywalker, for example. I'd probably pick the Prince of Persia, Sands of Time version, and hit the blackjack tables for an hour. That's
Oh,
a
that
good,
is
It's
a
really
good one.
difficult because I've been thinking about this. Well,
This is easy.
Before
I
the
say
question was
thinking
even
about
asked,
it.
you just
I say thinking, yeah, I've been looking up games that I played in the last year to try and figure out something. But the trouble is, if you can't choose anything like licensed or whatever, that ruins quite a lot of the ideas.
I think
Max.
I think
Max from
licensed
Life
stuff
is
should be
Strange.
allowed.
That's the one I landed on that as well.
Max.
But
Oh, did you? So,
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
just
weird.
after I said it.
Yeah,
Did you
just-
land
just
on that
after
just
you said
after I
it,
said
yeah.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
just after you said it.
Convenient.
It sort of landed on
at
that.
that moment,
Yeah, that's what I would have done as well.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You absolutely shameless. Yeah, I can't think of any abilities
Apart
actually.
from,
Max from Life is Strange.
yeah,
apart
that
from
one. Yeah,
Max
that was the one I was thinking of.
really sticking in my head.
Yeah.
It'd be great. Just
Yeah.
going over you again, lottery betting, gambling, all that sort of stuff. And
But, I
then
mean,
a
it's
tornado
pretty similar
wipes
to
out
the Sands of
Sutton.
Time thing,
It's
isn't it?
beautiful. It's
You know.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Is there
Didn't
a...
one of us
Go on, sorry.
choose the other option of that? Did
Which
one
turned
of
out
us...
to be the canon ending.
It canon, yeah.
So, yeah.
No, didn't they say... No, there is no canon ending.
No.
No, I think you'll find if you play Life is Strange 2,
Which
it
we all did.
it
Yeah, it
runs
changes
with the...
depending on the choice you made.
Yeah, it changes depending on the choice you made, James.
There's no canon
thought it
ending. They
was.
specifically said there's no canon ending for the sequel that has got Max in it.
Yep.
I'm not
Yep.
sure about that. I'm going to look that up.
Well, you can be unsure about
Alright.
it, but it's true.
I'm pretty. The only time it referenced it was when you were looking at the memorial thing, and it either had a memorial for one person or thousands of people. And I just assume in your game it was for the thousands. Look at him. Look, he can't let it drop. He cannot let it
God.
drop. He's
No,
already.
I would have done,
Googling,
but it was
even
how
though
insistent Sean was about it that's made me want
Sean's
to.
right.
Correct.
Sean's right here.
Yeah,
This one.
I seem to remember something, but I thought I was related to the new
This
games.
isn't
That
like the
because the
Mini
new
X
game, that means something was canon, but I guess I was
No,
wrong.
they specifically said for the,
Yeah.
the new game, there is no canon ending.
This isn't another mini eggs situation, James.
God for that. Is there a video game character whose ability is that they're just really organised and good at like running errands that you've been putting off for months?
Or something.
The one
Papers,
from
some guy from
Unpacking?
Papers, Please.
Yeah,
or that,
go for
yeah.
Papers, Please. Actually, yeah. I'll be here.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
but you-
I'll have his
what a
powers
horrible-
for an hour.
What? Just to look at IDs and see discrepancies.
We're just gonna do our job.
Spend an hour sorting my life out. Sort
yeah,
out
what
my
needs
car
sorting out,
insurance.
boy?
I've got a parcel down here. I've been meaning to send for about a month.
Oh,
Email
car
the t-shirt guy.
insurance.
I'll keep putting that off.
But when you get the car insurance letter through, it's like they want an extra £300, and I know that I can get I could reduce it if I went onto car comparison websites.
Yeah.
And then you go, but maybe I'll just pay the extra. Fuck it. I
Oh,
cannot
no, I
do
never
that.
do that.
The
That's-
car
that's-
comparison websites aren't the problem. It's making the fucking phone call
Yeah,
to cancel it.
yeah,
That's the problem.
yeah. There's all sorts of problems there, isn't there?
Yeah. Barriers.
Also, Joe writes off a car every week, so it just keeps
That's-
skyrocketing
Oh, yeah,
for
there
me,
is that.
baby.
Yeah.
There is that.
Go on, James. You're very quiet. You've been googling. You're very quiet now. What's up?
one of the things I found is quite interesting is what's that? from?
Remembering that we're only us four have played Life is Strange. None of our listeners give a shit about Life is Strange. Go on. What? Go on.
No, I'm just reading the
Close to the mic.
the various. No, fuck off, Matt. I could sit exactly
He's got
where
a
I want.
point.
He
Barely.
has got a point, James. Into
What?
the microphone, please.
You're not.
Do you want me to be
talking the
like that? Yeah,
microphone.
is
Yes.
that better?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
sound
that's
amazing.
literally how it's supposed to be.
Okay, there you go.
That's what the pop shield's for.
He went for Matt. Then he went for Matt and got shot down because he realised he was the only one backing himself. Go on.
It's right there. Hang on, I forgot what I was going to say now.
Do you know what
It's-
pisses me off, James? Is that
Oh,
all
look,
we're
what?
saying
Can
is
you
that
be
you speak
fucking
into the
ragging
mic?
on me literally all evening? Okay,
It's the
fuck
show.
off.
Sort of walking
It's the
into it a bit.
show.
To be...
Oh, I know. Everyone's having a pop. Go on, just Fuck off, okay?
No, we're not even having a pop. We're saying, can you speak into the mic? And you went, well, you want me to speak into the mic? I'll try and do it really badly then to try. There's no need for the passive aggression, James.
It's not passive aggression, it's actual aggression.
All right,
Yes.
someone's nicking lines from John Denton now. Go on, what are you saying?
Never even heard him say that. but
What have
you
you
go.
found? What have you found?
I ain't found nothing. Sean's right. There you go. Let's just move on.
Sound. Jamin says, for some reason on Facebook...
What my answer is going to be the dude from Crackdown. So up yours.
You just have a little jump
So-
around and...
Yeah,
The big jump around, yeah.
Cool.
Huge one.
For some reason on Facebook, despite not following him, I noticed on my feed that Matt Murray had liked a post about some teeth whitening powder.
Sounds like me.
Not going to mention the brand here in case you think this is a publicity post. Do you remember which one it is, Matt? I mean,
Yeah, because I've only bought one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It seemingly has good reviews, but as we all know,
gonna
there are
Google
an
this.
awful lot of thick people on social media. I'd like to know if Matt has tried this brand and also if he recommends it. I've also always respected Matt's opinion ever since he gushed about Jusson, which I really enjoyed too. Keep up the top work. I recently subbed to Patreon to monetarily show my appreciation of how much more acceptable you've made my 2-hour daily commutes. Cheers, Jamin.
Well, I've got one question before this. Is like, as I mentioned before, my Facebook account got hacked, and I created a new one only because of stupid work things, really. But I've got no friends on it, and I thought I made it so no one can even follow me because it's basically a dead account. I'd really just use it for, well, so we can manage the T-Suggest Facebook account. So how have you seen it? Maybe it's a Facebook thing. Maybe I like to, or Instagram. I bet maybe it's an Instagram. Anyway, that's weird. Yes, I did buy it. Actually, only recently I was thinking about rebuying it again. But I mean, I've only used one, so I can't really tell you if it was amazing. It did the job. I mean, it made
How
my
does it
teeth
work?
whiter.
Is it one of those that's like, oh, it's purple, so when you put it on your teeth, it makes
This
yellow look
one,
white?
yeah, it's purpley, but it's not the one we've all seen. Well, maybe we haven't all, but I've certainly seen lots on Instagram where it's like people in like a dentist chair where it's like properly like really deep purple, like cream or toothpaste type stuff, and then like look how different because the purple interacts and does something with the yellow. I don't know. I would like whiter teeth. I did use this, and I was thinking about rebuying it recently, but I don't know. I guess it. But I thought, okay, I'm gonna rebuy it. It's 25 quid a. 25 quid a a thing.
That is
So I
a
thought maybe I
wild
won't buy it
minute
again.
Of Matt Murray there, wasn't it?
Yeah,
You
it
were
was,
all over
yeah.
the place there. What's
Yeah.
going on?
But yeah, I might buy another one, but I haven't quite decided.
Just to be clear, zero shame in whitening.
Oh,
your
yeah,
teeth.
yeah.
If
No,
I
hell
thought
no, yeah.
anything would actually work and not cost £300, I would probably do
Yeah, I
it
mean,
myself.
I really want to do like Invisalign or other things, but they're all very expensive,
What's
aren't they?
Invisalign?
It's basically like the transparent retainers, and you have them for like a number of months, and then they'll get straight teeth, and then often you get whitening as part of the deal. But that can be like 3 or 4 grand. That's the trouble.
Fucking hell.
Yeah,
I've
but I
got
would.
money.
I didn't think. Oh, I mean, I was looking at the costings for. Oh god, I've written it down. It's not veneers, composite bonding. That's the one. They're basically like Love Island style, like totally
God.
straight teeth. But that would also cost like thousands of pounds. So I don't know. But I would like nicer
Too
teeth.
short for this shit.
You what? Sorry?
I just said
Okay,
life's
go on.
too short for all this shit. Honestly.
What for wanting nicer teeth? What's wrong with
We
that?
can't all be as naturally handsome as you, James.
Yeah.
Spending all this time and money on it, I just don't get it.
That's why I like to have nicer, whiter teeth. Yeah, love your job. Maybe hair as well. A lot.
I would like you to do the turkey thing because oh my god, the
Content will be
we get out
incredible,
of
wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. James just sitting next to you the whole time. You'd have to go with him, just you two, like a little road
Oh
trip.
God, yeah.
That'd be
I've
great.
watched
Little weekend
every
turkey, me and you,
Face
James.
abroad.
I come back with a massive swollen head like the guy from Megamind.
Face abroad.
Despite what I just said, I would like to get my hair fixed. That would be nice.
You're here. Your
Well,
hair.
yeah, but life's too short to spend all this money on stuff, James.
Yeah,
What's
it's
the
true.
point?
Man,
That's right,
could
James.
you
Let's
imagine
both
if
do
they
it. Let's
got
both go
done?
together. That would be incredible. Hair, follicles will do it.
James, you ever thought about
David's the
growing your
expert.
hair out, like growing it long?
Dreads.
Well, no, because it's a disaster now if I try and do that.
Really?
Yeah, chances are like a mad scientist. So I don't,
that is my
You
fear
look like
as
Bill
well.
Bailey.
yeah, it's going in that direction. So it's like, no, I'm not doing that. It's
Oh,
terrible.
shame.
I love seeing you with a ponytail.
Nah.
Isaac was asking
Okay.
me earlier if I would try growing it out because he wants to see what it would look like.
Right, let's all just us three, not David, 'cause he's got hair like a wanker. What we'll do is me, Sean, and James will just say, Kate, from the 1st of August, we're not cutting our hair for a year,
Yeah, okay.
and then we
Charity,
see where we
for
are in a
charity?
year's time. Yeah, for charity, I guess. Yeah.
Things I do because I do occasionally see like men who are like thin on top, but they've grown it out, and they they kind of pull off the mad scientist look. Like it's not like a creepy way. It's like oh no, you just look like sort of eccentric and cool. But I don't think that's me.
Why don't you just make it a competition where the first one to get a haircut, like last one to get the haircut?
Oh my god,
like that.
that would be great.
That would be
Including
good.
beards as well.
No, not beards as well, because it'll get ridiculous.
Why was that the line?
Because it's like annoying to eat when you got a massive beard.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to be able
And
to
it feels
trim
disgusting,
the because it just grows like
James
over the
looks
mouth.
so
It's
done
horrible.
with this week's show. He looks done with it. Look, we're talking about this. Would you compete in that, James?
No, I don't think I would.
No.
I mean,
Well, never
Okay,
mind
great.
then. So that's that.
well, no, because it'll look terrible. Like it looks. I'm talking about
What's the
myself
point?
here, not anyone else. But yeah, it just would look awful.
The hair
If-
race.
Yeah, if I ever went and got a hair transplant, like that's it. Like there'd be no end for the ribbing forever, would it? Like you can't get away with that, I guess.
No, I feel very uncomfortable. So, how do I put this without anyone? Well, yeah, no, I could say this. Someone in the world of Little League, recently, well, within the last few years, went over to Turkey to get their hair transplant. It was before I knew them, so I didn't even notice, to be honest with you. But the amount of abuse that man got in the WhatsApp groups and face to face is incredible. And don't get me wrong, he was a confident guy. He didn't seem to be knocked by it at all. But I just do not have it in me to take the piss out of someone like that. Like I can't. I very rarely take the piss out of someone on how they look because I just find it really, especially when you looking at that. Looking at this mug, you can't really start pointing fingers at other people.
You haven't got. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, no chance with that face. Okay, cool. I might do it then.
Yeah, go for it, man.
I'm
I'm the same. I don't believe in like where people have gone to like if they've had something done. I don't really believe in like making fun of them for it. Do you know what I mean? So I was listening to a thing about Ozempic.
Oh yeah,
you know,
Ozempic.
like
Yeah.
I said.
It's going to be on the.
Is it Ozempic going to be on NHS? Is it?
It's going to be in the
Sorry,
NHS apparently, and obviously certain people are like, this is going to be incredible. Like it's going to save the NHS a ton of money, and it's going to be amazing. And it's like obviously this implies, it's going to be amazing brackets because I won't have to see as many fat people. It's like, oh, sorry, I'm such a affront to your life. And yeah, and they were saying those podcasts that like, because obviously in America it's rife.
Yeah.
And how like. But like even if people who use Ozempic and successfully lose weight, there's still this subset of people are like, oh, but you didn't really lose weight though, did you? Like
You didn't do it
it's
the real way.
Like you're spiritually fat and you can never not be that. Do you know what I mean? So I just if people have stuff done, I'm just like, yeah, cool, face value. I don't really.
Sweets. When I come in next week with dreadlocks, you'd be like,
Yep.
you can't say a thing
What's
now.
holding you
hair.
back? What's stopping you doing it tomorrow?
Money, firstly.
Fair.
And
Patreon.com /
Yeah.
TCG.
there will generally always be a part. I mean, like, I think I can own it, and I generally would feel better, feel more confident rather than looking at this stupid, like, bald twat face every day. But I'm like, in my mind, I always be like, oh, but hair transplant, I don't know. But I'd also like to know the process. I'd like to like experience it, see what it's about. And I'd follow enough people on Instagram who have like gone through and done it. And I know someone personally who's had it done. I'm like, fucking hell, like, well, why not? It's getting so kind of common, or much more common these days. And 99% of people I see on the street, I'm gonna be like, oh, hair transplant. Obviously, people I know, if I suddenly, if I come in with long hair after,
It's the
18 months.
transition, isn't it? It's the first few months.
Well, yeah, I mean, so
Right.
basically, it takes like between 12 and 18 months to get to where it needs to get to. So,
really?
the first few.
And
I mean,
I
like,
assume for a while it very much looks like your head has been operated on.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, like what you're supposed to do is you're not supposed to be out in like daylight for the first like two or so weeks. So the best time really to do it, I've
Why, 'cause
already.
people laughing at you.
Yeah, got all the laughter. Yeah, cause the best time really to do it is like basically like Christmas holidays. Like go off Christmas on the 18th, whatever. Go over there, get it done.
He's gonna do it at Christmas.
If I was going to do it, that would be the
Christmas.
time. That would be the
He's
time.
gonna do it at Christmas.
And just think about the content as well. I mean, I'm going to get a tattoo on my arse. I mean, hair transplant, at least there's a benefit there.
I suppose, yeah,
Alright.
the only worry is like it becomes a habit, right? Like you get one thing done and you're like, right, what next?
Well, it probably would be teeth after that, yeah.
I thought you meant like adding hair to other parts of your body as well. It's-
back next, please.
Yeah.
But I might be too far gone. I might have lost too much hair. Like they can work might be quite a sizable job. So maybe not. They might be like, you got no chance, mate. My hair was
Just
quite
imagine
fine
going,
anyway.
We get the follicles off your butt. Oh, there's a wiki. There's a wiki down here. Is that a wiki? It looks like a wiki. It's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Final question comes from Philippe Fallope. It says, "Hi guys. When was the specific point that clans became obsolete? Am I naive and are clans still a thing? It's a massive shame that the Xbox clubs aren't more handy when it comes to these things. Long gone are the days where I used to be involved with clan wars with other clans from other forums, turning up to trash talk before a set game, only to be made to eat my words, of course. Keep up the good work. Love the show."
Oh God.
I guess
Clans
the short version is matchmaking, right?
Yeah,
Like
it feels
clans were
like a very.
useful to like organize games when you couldn't
Yeah.
necessarily just jump in.
It
Yeah,
feels
but
like a
it's
very
still...
sort of early 2000s thing, doesn't it?
It
Yeah.
does, yeah. It feels like early internet style thing.
Still see clan tags though when you play Destiny or COD, or you still see like the four
Yeah.
letters in front of the names. Like, but there's
Clan
probably not as
tags, yeah.
prevalent.
But
What
I think
was
it
the
was,
game where we took clans very seriously, James, and we were in a
It's
clan?
Rainbow Six 3.
of course.
Well, we were in a clan, and then
Yeah.
there was a big argument, and someone got booted out,
It
and
was
then
the
they
best
came into the
evening
party
ever.
chat and went ballistic
Well, yeah, it's
for being
because.
booted out.
Well, no, but then also what was really funny about that was they came in and went ballistic, but using one of those Xbox Live voice masks.
No, that's
to trash
right,
talk.
Yeah.
They were using
Dark
the Dark
Master.
Master one, and it
Why
was
have I been kicked out of the clan?
yeah.
Well, sorry, you haven't been playing for a while. Well, I didn't know there was a rule on how often I've been playing. I've been kicked out of the clan. And if I'm sitting there, I'm on mute because I'm pissing myself laughing.
Good voice to do though.
It was very funny.
Gonna use any
I think
voice.
I
That'd be the one.
remember who that was as well. I might need to say, I don't want to shame them on
Are
the
they on this
pod,
podcast?
but They might be. James Farley, baby.
I mean,
No.
guilds are still a thing in like MMOs and stuff. Obviously, that's kind of different. I remember
Yeah, it's kind of different.
being in a guild in World of Warcraft, and like it was pretty casual. But I remember just thinking it was nice because like, so you obviously have the little chat bit of the screen, and there's like you have a guild chat channel, and I used to just chat with people in there because I was playing at fucking 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And then occasionally, like, they'd just send me some really good loot, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, it's just for being sound in the chat." So, all right, nice one.
there is a like it is strange because the equivalent of that for me in today's money is like pro clubs and FIFA
Yeah.
feels very much like a clan. You know, we've got our crew and
Yeah.
we're all on a WhatsApp group, and you're playing for the team. You're not playing individually, really. You're playing for, and everything. Like, I can go away, my mates can continue playing FIFA. I come back 2 weeks later and we've been promoted or whatever, relegated because I ain't bloody there. You know what I mean? And the same with Rocket League, right? Like, so Rocket League has teams, and you when you play exclusively with people on the same team, then you have your team colours and all that sort of stuff. So it is there, but it is not there in the same way. It's sort of evolved. I think. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Clans were big, and then suddenly the public perception were clans were really sort of shit, and anyone that was in a clan was pathetic and sad, and that's when
genuinely think
clans stopped
it's just
being a big thing.
Because if you wanted to play competitively at like a medium to higher level, I think it used to be an absolute necessity, whereas now you can do that just using matchmaking.
I guess.
Yeah.
But it
But
does
yeah, they can be
also
really
feel like a
fucking
lot. Yeah,
awful.
everyone was like, "You're in a clan. What a loser." It used to be like a clan. No, well, I'll get my other clan members. You got little clan members, have you? What a square.
I remember when I was in college and I met like another bunch of nerds that we just hadn't. I know we hadn't really crossed paths. I can't remember how I ended up meeting him, and turned out we play. I can't remember what it was we were playing. Might have been Quake 3 Arena. And basically, yeah, just chatting to this one lad, and he was really friendly. He's like, "Oh yeah, like we've got a clan, like we'll see about getting you on board." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that'd be cool." And then it came up again when some of his other mates were there, and they were just like, "What? You said he could join? You just said he could just join the clan? Like what the?" Like it was like a big deal to them. Like,
And you're
can't
just
fucking
standing
invite people. It might be rubbish, which I was, to be fair. So they were right. But do you know what I mean? It
must
was
do
like,
these free tests.
like it was so clear that to this one guy, it was just like a little club with his mates, and then the others were like, "No, you got to be good
Yeah,
enough
it's
to
really
get in."
important. I often, every now and then, I sit and think about your little Stadia group that you had. Do you remember that
Yeah,
little group of Stadia
Yeah,
mates
how are
that
they?
used to
Died
get
there.
together and?
I
Yeah.
think it's mostly disbanded at this point. I don't know. I don't know.
Like,
I mean, they stopped
still
inviting.
clinging on.
They stopped inviting me, which was entirely fair enough because I wasn't really going. Because it was genuinely like, still had like Isaac was still in sort of his first year and was still being a fucking nightmare. And I was like still getting the migraines and stuff, and like so there were genuine reasons I just wasn't going very much. So I think it was very much like, oh well, we'll stop asking because I don't think he wants to come anymore. So I don't think it was me being like ousted or anything, as far as I'm aware. But yeah,
God, that's wild, bleak. You go to stadia.google.com now. It's a big page that says "Thank you for playing with us." I didn't. Stadia was shut down on January the 18th, 2023. Ah. Matt nearly got
Shame.
that. Was nearly your first tattoo, Matt. Do you remember the Stadia logo?
still should be
Imagine
his
that.
first tattoo.
Well, yeah, thankfully that didn't happen.
Oh,
That'd be embarrassing,
shit.
wouldn't it?
James, that would have been perfect.
It would, yeah. I mean, that was on my short list of options, but yeah,
Oh, but why didn't you see it?
because I knew he'd never want to go for it. That's why I went for.
Oh, he
kind
would
ones.
have. Just for the
Yeah, I think he'd have been
logo.
up for
That
that.
would have been good.
No, not my ass.
Not
for
on
it.
the arse. All right. Okay. Is that it?
That's it, mate.
Well, that's another podcast that we've done and we've put on the internet so that you could listen to it.
Rightly or wrongly.
And socials, Matt.
Yes,
you got to tell people?
we stream on Twitch. I mean, I don't, but Sean and James do.
How close are you to returning?
I think about it a lot. I think I've got more brain space now. So, but I'm not sure on PC can even do it. So,
Did you
yes,
upgrade?
it can.
well, last time I tried to do E3 streams, it was struggling at 1080. But maybe that's because of all like the various like NDI sources.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'll check it. Maybe
Yeah, that stuff's.
I do think about it a lot,
If it's
'cause-
just your camera and the Elgato feed, you'd be fine.
because I used to bloody love it, didn't I?
You
You
did.
couldn't stop me doing it, and then
You did love it.
anyway, we do
People
stream
in
on.
the chat had a pop at you and you bottled it. Come on.
Well, other
You're
things were
bigger,
going
you're
on
a
at the
bigger,
time.
badder man now.
I'm
You're
the
a
bigger
badder
bad man, actually.
He's the bigger bad
Yeah.
man.
Anyway, we do stream on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv/TCGSco or search TCGS on the Twitch app even. And if you miss those streams live, you can go on YouTube and search TCGS and watch the VODs. There's recent ones of James doing Dark Souls 3. There's Sean's Lego ones. There's all other streams. When they happen, they'll go on YouTube often on the night, if not the day after. If you've got Amazon Prime and a Twitch account, connect your account, and you get something called Twitch Prime Gaming. And with that, you get one free sub you give to any channel you want. And maybe go over to our channel and give us your free sub, because we really appreciate those that do that, or just sub and support us with actual money. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/TCGS, to support what we're doing over here, get the exclusive monthly bonus podcast, watch our video streams, other little bits, or just give us money because you think we're doing great stuff. And the website is tcgs.co for links to our amazing Discord community, store, podcast, socials, other bits.
Sign up to our Patreon if you think James Farley's hot. Watch all these pages.
Sign up to our
rolling
Patreon if you
down
think
the way.
folly calls should be a thing.
Folly Calls is a very
That's
good
really
one.
good.
It is really good.
And you'll be the expert, I guess, David, with hair. I'm like, so what's it like gelling your hair? And you're like, well.
Well, you
And they're like, no, David, that's not how gel works. And it's like, oh, you have to do a pin tweak because you've got the, what gel doesn't do.
That was a good series, wasn't it? Enjoyed that. I saw the Marvel announcements over the weekend, and I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, God. What are they
is
doing?
it bad?
Scraping the barrel, aren't they? Like, quick, get him
Yeah.
back.
But I'm assuming it's going to be. They're going to work it in. They're not going to just pretend he's a different person, right?
No, it's going to be a multiverse thing, isn't
But yeah,
it?
no, because
Yeah,
people are saying, if you read the
multiverse
comics,
thing.
you'll understand why that actually does make sense. But it does feel like, let's get him back because we know it'll be massive. And
I
it was an
saw-
amazing
I'm-
moment at Comic Con to see, oh shit,
I'm at the point where I'm just like, I don't even care how it might make sense.
Yeah.
not.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Multiverse is a terrible, terrible thing.
Yep. And especially now
All
they've
of
done Deadpool and Wolverine, which apparently fully dives into multiverse stuff means nothing matters anymore.
Yeah.
yeah, it's annoying, isn't it?
intentionally.
Really.
And now it's like, right, now you've intentionally pointed that out. You've just got to stop now. Like,
Yeah, stop with the multiverse. There should be an episode of Loki where they go, "We have stopped the multiverse has stopped now, and all the timelines
Yeah.
are that's
the
it,
TVA was right to begin
Yeah.
with.
and it is all now that's gone."
Yeah.
So, what about the blip? Remember that? Go back to that.
Yeah.
Let's go back to them. Go, the blip was bad, wasn't it? Yep.
Yeah, generally multiverse stuff is rubbish, but I do think low-key, it made it slightly more bearable. So there was some, peril. But,
Okay. Thank you so much for living it. We will catch you next week on another thrilling episode of the Computer Game Show. Goodbye, everybody. We love you. Goodbye.
Cheersy, boys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.